Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into another edition of Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. Tonight we got the Dodgers taking on the Loudoun River Dogs, and the River Dogs coming into today's game on a mini streak. They lost their first four. They won their first game of the season one night ago.
Exactly, and again, it's one win, but it's a win that can hopefully kickstart many more wins to come for the London River Dogs as they come into tonight's game.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, well, not against the Dodgers, but as the season goes along, they look to improve their record as the season goes along.
Well, of course, that's what we all want to do. Certainly we're not hoping for them tonight. The Dodgers wanting to get back into the winning ways after dropping a game last night. Things started off extremely well for the Dodgers, jumping out to a 4-0 lead and then eventually a 5-1 lead. And then things started to unravel a little bit for starter Stephen Cook.
Exactly, and again, Stephen Cook was pitching really well through the first 3 or 4 innings. Dodgers getting base runners on board, mostly because of the account of 7 walks in the first 3 or 4 innings on the account of Braves pitchers. And, of course, Dodgers taking advantage of that through a couple timely putouts that allowed runs to come in. Gave them that nice 5-1 lead, but again, the Braves bats came alive in the 5th inning, and they were through a 5-run inning. They were able to zip past the Dodgers, and they didn't look back through the rest of the game.
As you mentioned, that 5-run 5th inning, I think Stephen Cook maybe left in a little bit too long. He had loaded the base, and errors started off that inning in the first place. The Dodgers have been hurt a little bit by errors so far this year, but yesterday, just 2 errors in the game, so not a whole lot of errors, where in the past it has been a lot of errors, but it was just like a timely error this time by Paul Nixon at first base.
And again, it's going to be those smaller errors, and those small errors, even though the Dodgers are committing a lot less, like you said, the Paul Nixon error to start off the inning really set the wheels in motion for that big inning that the Braves were going to have. So the Dodgers coming into this game and through the rest of the season need to worry about playing fundamental baseball and, focusing on their fundamentals. And hopefully through refocusing on that, the errors will become less and less of an issue going forward.
To get back to the point about Stephen Cook, maybe one batter too long. I mentioned the inning began with that error, and actually only one of those runs in that inning ended up being earned because of that very first error on the first batter. But he loaded the bases 2 away, and coming to the plate at that point was Brett Norwood. In the game to that point, Norwood was 2 for 3 with a couple singles and a run scored. He came in and delivered pretty much what was the most devastating blow of the game, and that was a triple out to right center that drove in 3 runs and basically put the game out of reach when they had Casey Gast, a lefty, in the bullpen ready to go and to bring in that lefty-lefty matchup.
Exactly, and Norwood was obviously the MVP of last night's game for the Braves, going 3 for 5 through the day, and that was 3 RBIs off that triple. I mean, luckily it was only a triple for the Braves because in most other ballparks that would have been a grand slam. The ball came really well off the bat and was able to get over the right fielder, Torres, and he was able to zip all the way to third. And again, those 2 triples in the inning, the other one coming on behalf of Vinny Costello, that one was a one RBI triple. And those 2 triples in general, I mean, with Gas waiting in the bullpen to get in, those were the 2 backbreakers for the Dodgers in last night's game.
Yeah, you mentioned that very well could have been a grand slam in other ballparks. We say it all the time, and you're probably going to get tired of us saying it because we're going to keep saying it. This ballpark is too big, just too big to be able to hit the ball into the gaps to try and get a home run. We saw the triples last night. The Dodgers have a triple on the season, so anything getting over towards the fence, we're talking triple because the outfield is so big. Paul Nixon for the Dodgers had his first home run in Gaithersburg. He said it was a wall scraper to center. I talked to him before the game when they were taking batting practice. He said it was a wall scraper out to center. It's 350 in center there. It's 410 here out in center.
Yeah, and again, the way that Paul Nixon's been hitting the ball, and even he hit a home run in batting practice today, underhand, hit it closer to the water tower than he's already hit it 380 before in batting practice, so he has the power to send it out there if he gets the right location. He could send it out to left field, left center But again, just getting it over that 410 mark, it's going to take a lot of. First off, it's going to have to be good contact with the ball, and also going to have to be the right launch angle in order to get over the 410 fence. But other than that, if you just get over to center fielder, that's an automatic triple basically.
Yeah, let's take a look. I just brought it up on the screen there. The up-to-date standings for the Cal Ripken League. You can see there the Dodgers in the basement in the North Division with a 2-3 record. The Redbirds 4-4 are leading the way, and the River Dogs coming in at 1-4. They're in the basement, so a pair of basement-dwelling teams. And looks like we're getting ready to exchange lineups, so we're going to shortly turn things over to Matthew Peterson, who's doing the public address announcing. But real quick, let's talk a little bit about these River Dogs. Last year, they split the season series 2-2 with the Dodgers. They lead the all-time series between the two teams 13-7. And yesterday we said they got their first win against the T-Bolts 5-4, but they did commit 4 errors. So there could be an opening for the Baltimore Dodgers to come in and win this ball game. And now we've got the meeting going on at home plate. We're going to turn things over to Matthew Peterson for the starting lineups.
Good evening and welcome to Joe Cannon Stadium for tonight's game between the visiting Loudoun River Dogs and your Baltimore Dodgers. Now first, the starting lineup for the River Dogs. Batting first, the second baseman from East Carolina University, number 18, Brady Lloyd. Batting second, at shortstop from George Mason University, number 29, Alejandro Aponte. Batting third, the designated hitter from College of William & Mary, number 8, Matthew Thomas. Batting fourth, left fielder from Virginia Military Institute, number 6, Jordan Ebersol. Batting fifth, at third base, from East Carolina University, number 42, Colin Watt. Batting sixth, the first baseman from Radford University, number 10, Clayton Bain. Batting seventh, the catcher from Northeastern University, number 19, Colin Casey. Batting eighth, the right fielder from George Mason University, number 24, Connor Bain. Batting ninth, the center fielder from Alabama Southern Junior College, number 7, Jermaine Crane. And on the mound for the River Dogs, from the College of William & Mary, number 30, Randy Prosperi. And now, the starting lineup for your Baltimore Dodgers. Batting first, the center fielder from Sacramento State, number 8, Trevor Doyle. Batting second, the shortstop from Hillsborough Junior College, number 1, D. Shelton. Batting third, the left fielder from the Ohio State University, number 25, Jake Ruby. Batting fourth, the catcher from Villanova University, number 33, Colin Berg. Batting fifth, the first baseman from Hartford Junior College, number 45, Paul Nixon. Batting sixth, the third baseman from High Point University, number 10, Paul DePino III. Batting seventh, the designated hitter from Millersville University, number 13, Nick Graham. Batting eighth, the right fielder from West Virginia Institute of Technology, number 22, Dario Torres. And batting ninth, the second baseman from Pasco Hernando Junior College, number 26, Taj Porter. And pitching tonight for the Dodgers from Northern Kentucky University, number 24, Jordan Menfee. And now, will you all please rise and remove your caps and join us in the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we screaming, who's brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you and play ball.
All right, there you have it. We're just about ready for baseball as there was your rendition of the national anthem. Jordan Menfee about to get the baseball and get things going here for the Baltimore Dodgers. Apparently he's going to pitch in silence. I'm just giving Matt Peterson a little bit of a hard time as we get things going. Here's Jordan Menfee taking the baseball and getting ready to get started. Menfee, a rough outing his first time. He pitched the opening game for the Dodgers and didn't last very long.
No, you're exactly right. He only made it through 2 innings pitched, and through facing 13 batters, he gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned, gave up 4 hits, walked 2 batters, and struck out only 1 batter of the game. And again, that first game, the Braves won 7-4 in the opening game. I believe the first 4 runs were all scored in the first inning. So Menfee having a very rough outing. Will be interesting to see if he can shake off those cobwebs from the first game and pitch a good inning tonight.
Yeah, Menfee, this is his 3rd season with the Dodgers. His first 2 were a little shaky as well. He's a big kid, lot of heat on his fastball, but sometimes with the young guys and that fastball, the guys that can throw hard just have a hard time controlling it sometimes.
Exactly. Last time I was up here with you, the one thing you were mentioning about is that sometimes you have to there's a bit of a trade-off with having the amount of power and speed behind your fastballs than where you put them. So you have to, there's kind of like that trade-off, as you mentioned before, having control or having enough heat on that fastball to prevent people from hitting it.
Well, the throw down to second base, and we're just about ready for baseball as Colin Berg getting it down to second to get things started. And you might see today on the screen things maybe look a little bit closer because we're not going with the wide-angle lens. So those of you watching might be able to see things a little bit better in the infield. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see the corners and all that. But if the ball goes to the corners, we'll keep you apprised as to what's going on.
I was going to say, we're good at painting pictures on what's going on in the right and left field, so no need to worry.
But I figured, one, it's a pain to switch out the lenses all the time. That's the biggest thing. But the other part of that is that it just seems like it's very difficult to see the baseball when you're in that wide angle view. As we've got a minute here before we get started because one of the gates is not locked. The gate that the umpires actually came in through. It looks like actually they do have it ready enough for play as Menfee, working completely out of the stretch, delivers the first pitch of the game. It's in there for a strike to Brady Lloyd. First pitch at 7:04. Another beautiful night, 2 in a row. This is fantastic. If we can get this this weather all summer, I will be ecstatic. And the 0-1 is swung on and missed, and Lloyd quickly down the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
So far this season, Brady Lloyd working with a .400 batting average, 2 hits and 1 run. Also struck out once so far this season.
And the 0-2 is going to miss up high. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count to the leadoff hitter for the River Dogs. And a breaking ball, and that one was hung, and it was lined in the left field by Lloyd for a base hit. And the first base runner of the game on a line drive base hit single into left. And it'll bring Alejandro Aponte to the plate. Aponte, a left-handed hitter, standing against the right-handed throwing Menfee. Playing in his 6th game of the season, and we've got time called. And Paul Nixon's going to come tell his pitcher, don't throw the ball over. I can't see it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I was going to say, the sun is still peeking out over the horizon, and standing down there for pregame interviews, the sun does bother me when I'm standing in front of the camera trying to focus on my pregame.
And the first delivery is going to get past Colin Berg into the backstop. Moving into second base is Brady Lloyd on a passed ball. Wow, that's not a good way to start the game. You get that 0-2 count, and then you hang a curveball, and then your catcher doesn't catch the first delivery to the second batter. Now you get a runner at second base and nobody away. And 1-ball, no-strike count to the second batter of the game. And he's going to hit a ground ball to second. Porter there to make the play. Moving up on the play is Brady Lloyd, and one away with a runner at third base.
Again, that pass ball is really going to play. It's really going to be an important. It's really important. That grounder again. If that pass ball didn't go through Berg's legs, I mean that could have been an easy double play right there. But instead, you got that runner at third base with 1 out, and an opportunity to bring him home.
And that'll bring Matthew Thomas to the plate. He's designated hitter today, right-handed hitter. And he's going to take a breaking ball that's going to miss down low. Thomas is going to be a freshman at William & Mary this upcoming season. Went 2 for 3 in the game yesterday, walked and doubled as he fouls one back out of play. Count even at a ball and a strike. From Lovettsville, Virginia, so a kid local to Virginia, which we see a lot of Virginia and Maryland kids in this league. So it's close to home. The 1-1, and another off-speed pitch, this time fisted over towards the batting cages on the right-hand side. Matthew
Thomas, again, a lot of teammates of his on this River Dogs team. There are several of them that are going to William & Mary, so he's not alone in his with his tribe teammates.
Menfee comes set the 1-2. A chopper that's going to get past Menfee, and it's going to score a run. Shelton up with it. The throw to first is in time, but the River Dogs take a 1-0 lead on the RBI ground out by Matthew Thomas.
Again, that wild pitch proving ever so important, where it could have been the 3rd out of the inning right there that D. Shelton putting Thomas away. Instead, it's now 1-0 River Dogs.
Yeah, that run could become unearned. It all depends on what happens as we go forward because of the passed ball there. That fastball catching the outside corner to Jordan Ebersol. Ebersol playing for the River Dogs again this summer. He played with them last summer as well. The 0-1, that's going to miss down low. Ebersol played in 31 games for the River Dogs last year. Went 16 for 82, which was good for a 195 average, so not the best hitter on that squad. Scored 19 runs, drove in 7. Almost got hit with a breaking ball there, but it misses him. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. He also pitched for the River Dogs. Appeared in 4 games, went 8 innings, but allowed 7 runs. So I don't know if he's going to pitch anymore as he swings and fouls one off here.
On the point, though, of that 195 batting average, though, he did drive in 7 runs on 7 RBIs and also had 7 doubles on the year. So enough of a contact hitter to drive in 7 runs, so could play a role in tonight's game.
As Menfee comes home with the 2-2. And he gets him that time as the fastball missing inside, glancing off of Ebersol, and he's going to reach first base.
Very rough inning for Menfee so far. Very similar, in fact, to how he started out against the Braves on opening day.
Yeah, so Now we've got a discussion between the home plate umpire and Derek Brown, and we're going to see if that ball hit the bat, maybe, is I guess the suggestion. I don't imagine they're going to change this call.
Although there could be another idea I have is, did he possibly lean into that? Did he lean in far enough to?
Not from what I saw. I think it just came in and hit him. So they're just trying to see. I guess he wanted to see if he could check to see if one of the other guys saw it hit the bat. He didn't seem to react too much, but a lot of these players are tough guys and don't typically react to that kind of stuff. But you see the wildness in Jordan Menfee there. He had that 0-2 count, and he was unable to locate that curveball in the first batter of the game. It ends up being a single, as a fastball here is going to be fouled out of play down the right field line. So, not getting that ball, because on a 1-2 count, I doubt he was trying to throw that for a strike back on the first batter of the game, and then he hits a batter there with 2 strikes as well. So you can see that little bit of wildness coming out. Now, it's a matter of fact is, can you be effectively wild and get them to chase and get enough swings and misses, as the 0-1 is going to miss down and away, and it'll leave the count at a ball and a strike.
Main concern for me, and this has been throughout the season, is the Dodgers have been so inconsistent with their pitching that they're leaving up all the for the Dodgers bats to make up all the mistakes that have been made on the pitching and fielding side.
Breaking ball going to miss inside. Now 2 balls and 1 strike to count on the third baseman for the River Dogs, Colin Watt. Colin Watt's going to be a sophomore at East Carolina. Played sparingly this year for the Pirates. 2-1, that's going to miss down and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Now the Pirates making it all the way to the regionals in the NCAA. Unfortunately for them, being eliminated by UNC Wilmington in that regional double elimination format.
Well, they had a great run this year. They can hopefully continue that run next
3-1 hit
year.
up the middle. Sorry about that. It's going to be caught right there by Taj Porter. And the River Dogs had a runner in motion there, and it actually made the play much easier for the second baseman, Porter. And that's going to do it for the River Dogs. I'll let you finish your thought when we come back. We're going to head to the bottom of the first, and the Dodgers are already trailing 1-0. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball.
How about I? It's my mic so on.
All right, welcome back to the bottom of the first inning with the Baltimore Dodgers trailing the Loudoun River Dogs 1-0 off of some unfortunate play. As Trevor Doyle is going to lead things off for the Dodgers after he also had that role last night. Last night went 1 for 4, but walked as well and scored a pair of runs, so had himself a pretty good day. He led off the game with a single. We'll see if he can do that here as he takes the first delivery on the inner half for a strike.
It's going to be so difficult for the Dodgers at bat-wise whenever there's errors made on the pitching side to kind of make up for those mistakes.
He laces one out to left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. We'll see if he can get two. He thinks about it, but he turns around and goes back to first base. Good job out there by Ebersol to cut it off and keep Doyle over at first base. Now, Trevor Doyle hasn't played an inning of college baseball yet, and he's out here doing this in the Cal Ripken League. So things looking good for him.
I was going to say, and this is a collection of high school players and college players. This is definitely going to be a good experience for him when he arrives on campus for day one and makes his debut in the spring.
Now D. Shelton standing in, swings at the first pitch he sees. A little fly ball over into the foul territory. It's just barely going to get out of play, but Ebersol really didn't have much of a chance to get to that. It was out of his reach, and Shelton down in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Randy Prosperi on the mound for the River Dogs, another William and Mary Tribe member from Fairfax, Virginia. Right-handed pitcher against the left-handed swinging D. Shelton. Shelton looks to lay down a bunt, but fouls it off at the plate, a little bit upset with himself if I'm reading his body language correctly. So he's going to come back and try and get a hit now down 0-2.
Prosperi having much of the same fortunes that fortunes that Menifee had his first going on June 8th against the Giants. Only 4 innings pitched and gave up 5 runs, 3 of them earned, 9 hits, and 2 walks on 3 strikeouts.
Speaking of strikeouts, Shelton caught looking on a breaking ball in the outside half. That's one of those things where you kind of, I don't know, I feel like you got to be looking for something like that, and he was just kind of fooled. As Jake Ruby now standing in, and his music getting everybody going in the stands. And when I say everybody, I mean all dozen of them. So he takes the first pitch down low. Jake Ruby received a red shirt this year from Ohio State. I asked him if he got to travel with the team to regionals, and he said, unfortunately, no, he wasn't able to.
Oh, man.
Well, he'll get there next year, and he'll be a big part of the team is what I'm hoping for him anyway. And he gets the experience here this season, or this summer, playing against, top-level college players.
Exactly, and Ohio State, much like their football team, their baseball team has been really solid in making regular appearances to regionals and super regionals.
Runner goes, throw down to second, is going to get into center field, and heading to third base is Trevor Doyle. He's going to be there standing, so an error on the play. A stolen base to second base, and going to third base on the error by the catcher is Trevor Doyle.
Good heads-up base running by Doyle and getting himself into scoring position. Now Dodgers have some room to work with 1 away. Ruby standing in, 2 balls, 1 strike here. And the delivery. Swung on, dribbled foul towards the River Dogs bench.
And that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Ruby just really needing to put the ball in play, and they should be able to get a run here. As Prosperi will set and come home. Breaking ball, just missing that outside corner. I think Ruby might have thought he was done for. He kind of paused for a second.
Mean, that looked pretty good from where I was sitting. Then again, this is why I'm not an umpire, so.
I'm not an umpire because I hate hearing complaints. I hate hearing complaining from every side. So Ruby hits one deep out into center. Crane is there, and he'll make the catch. But that'll bring in a run on the sacrifice fly to center by Jake Ruby. As touching the plate is Trevor Doyle.
Batting now, the catcher for Villanova University, number 33, Colin Berg.
Colin Berg's going to try and lead things off again, get them started again for the Dodgers. So that one-run deficit was short-lived as the Dodgers now tie it up. Colin Berg with 2 away is going to try and restart this offense. First delivery to him is going to miss. Sun's still pretty prominent as the lights are actually already on here at Joe Cannon Stadium. Berg hits one high in the air out to left, but Eversole is there. And he's going to make the catch for out number 3, but the Dodgers do get a run. Trevor Doyle comes around after his single, and a big costly error there as the Dodgers tie it up. We're going to head to the second. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. And welcome back into Joe Cannon Stadium. Rob Stadnick alongside Matthew Kleindienst.
Kleindienst.
I keep wanting to say Kleindienst, but Kleindienst. Matthew Kleindienst.
That's how
joining me.
That's how automatic answering machines say my last name.
Kleindienst?
Yes.
All right. See, so you're clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Your family has had it wrong for years.
For centuries,
clearly.
yeah.
Clearly. It's the first delivery to Clayton Bain standing in. It's fouled away over towards the River Dogs dugout. Menifee coming set, and the 0-1's going to miss outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Clayton and his brother both playing for the River Dogs. We're going to see his brother Connor coming up in this inning as well. His breaking ball is going to miss down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike.
When I first started doing research about the River Dogs and I saw both Baines, I started doing a double take because I thought there was a typo thinking that there was 2 Connors or 2 Claytons.
The 2-1, that's going to miss down a little bit. 3 balls and 1 strike. Now Clayton goes to Radford. His younger brother Connor, as you'll find out, well, right now, will be going to George Mason. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when he comes up. Oh, a little check swing bouncer back to Menifee. Menifee's going to underhand it to his first baseman. And that's a bit of a gift right there as he was down in the Menifee was down in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. And I don't know if that pitch was going to be a strike, but that check swing bouncer back to the pitcher is huge there.
Well, and again, these type of breaks you need to take advantage of. And those, again, stalling a offensive pursuit by the River Dogs, so you need to take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way.
Colin Casey standing in is going to foul one out of play over towards the parking lot. He's down in the count. No balls and a strike. Colin Casey from Northeastern University is going to be going into his junior year. Played in just 4 games this year for the Huskies. The Huskies were able to make it to the regionals as well with a 36-21 overall record and a 17-6 record in conference. That's the Colonial Athletic Association. They lost the first 2 games in the Raleigh regionals to Auburn 13-4 and NC State 9-3. And Casey actually was able to get into one of those games. It came in as a pinch hitter against NC State and struck out. He's heading to count 2 balls and a strike, and the delivery is swung on and popped up foul. It's going to get behind us and out of play. Every time I just turned around to look to see if I could see the ball come down. Every time I turn around and look, there's a little owl statue back there, and it creeps me out. Like, I think that there's something sitting there every single time.
I'm just trying to figure out what that's supposed to mean. Like, is there a team in place here that's the Owls, and that's why that statue's there?
As the 2-2 hit on the ground is short. Right there is Shelton. He throws it away at first base, had all kinds of time, and makes a high throw. And Colin Casey is going to reach on the E6 by DeAndre Shelton.
Again, those errors are those costly errors. Again, we remember from last night the Paul Nixon error to start the 5th inning, top of the 5th inning, eventually led to the Braves scoring 5 runs. So let's see if the River Dogs can take advantage of this gift that they were given to by D. Shelton.
And that'll bring the younger brother of Clayton Bain, Connor Bain, to the plate. As we mentioned, he's going to be a freshman at Georgetown next year. It's the first delivery is a fastball in the dirt by Menfee. What did I say?
It's Connor Bain.
It is Connor Bain, but apparently I said the wrong school. Our PA announcer, Matthew Peterson, pointed over and he showed me and said George Mason. So clearly I said something wrong.
You said Georgetown.
I said Georgetown? Really?
I didn't get
wow.
it. I didn't catch it.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know. That's a big slip right there as he hits a fly ball deep into center field. Right there is Doyle to make the catch for out number 2. But, no, George Mason. Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit more about him when he comes up now that we know which school he's going to.
Both are in the DC. Both are in the DC area, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
True enough. I mean, I guess you'd probably say more. We'll at least say DMV. They're all in the DMV area, so we're good there. As Jamarian Crane is going to come to the plate. He's catching today for the River Dogs. Takes the first delivery down in the dirt.
Last season playing for Alabama Southern Community College. A 317 batting average through last baseball season.
He's going to swing and foul one off right here. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. He's played in every game for the River Dogs so far this season. 5 for 20, good for a 250 average. Not terrible. Certainly in the top half of the River Dogs lineup. The River Dogs, one of the weaker hitting teams in the Cal Ripken League so far. The 1-1. Breaking ball, it's got him in the back. It's Menfee hitting another batter. And now there's 2 on with 2 away. And that'll bring the top of the order back to the plate for the River Dogs, and that's not what you want. You certainly want to try and get the 9-hitter out there and not bring the guy that singled off of you back in the first to come to the plate with a runner in scoring position, but that's what we have is Brady Lloyd standing in. Scored the only run of the River Dogs so far, but we are only in the 2nd inning. The first delivery's going to miss up and away. Singled into left on a hanging breaking ball by Menfee. Got to second base on a pass ball. Was moved to third on a ground ball by the number 2 hitter of Conte. And then scored on a ground out by Matthew Thomas. As he swings and misses at a high fastball here. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count on Lloyd. And the 1-1. Miss outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. He's going to be a senior at Eastern Carolina. He went 2 for 5 in yesterday's game. run and struck out. Played 2 games in the regionals for Eastern Carolina. Went 3 for 9, scored a run, drove 1 in. Walked and struck out. Takes a breaking ball outside here. He's 2 for 3 with a run and an RBI in Game 1 against UNC Wilmington. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. He did a good pitch to hit here. He swings and fouls, went back. That one might have been ball 4. It looked to be above the letters, but he did chase. And the runners will be off of the pitch. Early on, a big pitch here for the Baltimore Dodger veteran Jordan Menke. Get this out without allowing the bases to become loaded or giving up that run. Set to come home. Fouled off. We're going to do it again. Wind is blowing here. We're both reminded by the papers in the booth just flying across the deck. Not a whole lot going on in center field, though. If you look at the flags, they're kind of down, but up where we're at, we've got a bit of a breeze coming through our window. Set and payoff pitch one more time. And that's going to be looped out in the left, and that's going to get down for a base hit. That's going to score a run. Coming into third and sliding in safely was Jamarian Crane, and now runners at the corners with 2 away, and that error by the shortstop, D. Shelton, is very costly for the Dodgers.
Errors for the entire season have been a big problem for the Dodgers. Menke also showing another highlight of the struggles of the Dodgers with pitch location, and hitting another batter earlier, hitting Jamarian Crane, and again proving costly as another run comes across for the River Dogs.
Have another run just 90 feet away as Menke delivers to Alejandro Aponte and delivers high. Aponte holds off for ball 1. Straight away in the outfield for the Dodgers, getting slightly to pull in the infield. Aponte hits a high fly ball out to right. Torres looks like he's got it tracked, settles under, makes the catch for out number 3. Let the River Dogs capitalize on a Dodger error, and they take the lead 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the second. This is Baltimore Dodgers. All right, let's see if the Dodgers can dig themselves out of another hole as they trail here 2-1. Rob Stadnick alongside Matt Kleindinst, and we're here for the bottom of the second inning. And Paul Nixon's going to stand in for the Dodgers. Nixon's gotten himself into a bit of a bad habit here, and and that's trying to go for the fences on pretty much every single swing. Now, it'll be great when he gets a hold of one, but he's not done that except for the one time in Gaithersburg. We mentioned before it was a wall scraper. He was telling me just got out, but the wind was blowing in. But that's what home run hitters say. The wind was blowing in. That's why it just barely got out. I wasn't there, so we'll have to take him at his word. He takes a breaking ball in there for a strike, a ball, and a strike. And the 1-1. And he hits one high and deep out to right. Going back is Bain, and he turns around and can't get it. It bounces off the warning track and off the wall. Nixon is going to stop at second base as maybe not the fleetest of foot of Dodger players, but he gets that stand-up double to lead things off here in the bottom of the second.
He needed a lot of he needed to put on the brakes in order to stop himself. He was really going there on his run to second, but again, most other ballparks, that would be a home run right there. I often joke around that he should adopt the nickname Paul Bunyan because whenever he takes these big swings, it's almost like he's taking a big Paul Bunyan hack at a tree.
Yeah, he's definitely a big, powerful guy. There's Paul DePino standing in. Runner at second base, Nixon, and the delivery to Pino. He turns and hits one hard over towards the Dodger bullpen, but that's foul.
Correction, batting now, third baseman, Paul DePino III.
What did he say the first time?
I'm not sure. Don't worry. It's all right, man. We all make mistakes. No problem. We'll just get on you mercilessly about it. That's all. He can't defend himself on air right now because I've got his mic potted down. As DePino trying to check his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. I thought he did too, but usually the umpire out at second base isn't going to be able to make that call. I just knew that wasn't his music, so when I looked and saw DePino, I was like, wait, what happened?
I'm thinking about this Bob Ross quote. We don't make mistakes. We make happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents. Like the little bush right there we're not going to tell anybody about?
Yeah.
And if you tell anybody that bush is there and DePino down on strikes swinging, we're going to blame the public address announcer on that.
Now batting as a hitter from Millersville University, number 13, Nick Graham.
As now Nick Graham's going to stand in, so it's clearly Nick Graham's music.
It's a double dose of his walk-up music.
He's got to be loving that, hearing his walk-up music all day. And the first delivery to him, he swings and misses. Now Nick Graham definitely showed he had some dedication. He was here early, taking some BP. Now I don't know if I should announce over the air the other part of that about how early he was here.
I mean,
in the 0-1.
I was here early enough to see him when he came to the ballpark. I got to the ballpark around like 2:30 because I had things to work on. And I saw him arrive and was wondering what he was doing as he arrived to the ballpark, but we found out as soon as we were allowed inside.
Yes. Now he's down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And well outside with the fastball, and a great job there by Casey behind the plate just to make that catch. Okay. Well, that's definitely Casey behind the plate. But that keeps the runner at second base, which would be huge. And a little looper out in the left field. And coming on to make the catch is Ebersol for out number 2. Now that may have scored a run if not for that play by Casey.
Batting now, the right fielder from West Virginia Institute of Technology, number 22.
Again, the good job reaching out for that.
I see where my mistake was.
You were thinking that Jamarian Crane was behind the plate.
Yes, that's because that's what I said when he was batting. Now a ground ball to third, and up with it, Watt. He throws across the diamond to get the out, and that's going to end the inning for the Dodgers. Get the leadoff double, but they can't do anything with it. What happened was I didn't put an F next to the C on Jamarian Crane, so instead of CF, it was just C. So when I looked at it and it said C, I just think he was catching. But Torres grounds out to third to end the inning, and the Dodgers can't advance Nixon past second base. So we're going to go to the third, and hopefully the Dodgers can keep them where they're at. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. And now we're back for the top of the third inning where Matthew Thomas is going to lead things off. Thomas grounded out to short, but drove in a run his last time. And he's going to chop one over Menfie's head. Porter charging, and a nice throw to first base to get the out. Great play there by Taj Porter. Now, Taj Porter last year playing for the Dodgers primarily at third base. When I saw him yesterday, I was a little bit shocked. I saw him, and he looks thinner. And I talked to him about that, and he said, "Yeah, he's lost 30 pounds since going to college. You know, he's got that college work. He obviously didn't put on the freshman 15, but getting in the weight room at college and everything, and he looks great. Absolutely, athletic build, and showed it off right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that speed certainly showed as though he lost 30 pounds. I mean, see if we can see if he could show that off on the base paths.
The first delivery to Jordan Ebersol was in there for a strike, and then he fouls one off and is down the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And this is where Menfie's gotten himself in trouble. He's been throwing curveballs and curveball counts, but he's kind of been not getting on top of it enough and hanging it a little bit. And the River Dogs have been all over it. And this time he throws a fastball, and that's going to miss outside. And again, the location thing is a bit of an issue because that ball really does nothing to set up the hitter. As that ball was well outside, and he's going to hit him with a breaking ball, and this is not good. Third hit batter,
Yep.
but another 2-strike count and a runner getting on base.
Again, that you just can't have that. I mean, I know we're talking about this is summer developmental league baseball here, but in college, you're gonna get burned for those poor locations on hanging curveballs, hitting batters on 2-strike counts. I mean, you just cannot do that.
And as a matter of fact, that's the second time he's gotten Ebersol. And a fastball to Colin Watt's going to miss up high. Watt ended the inning back in the first, and he grounded into a fielder's choice. So ground ball to second base, but Ebersol was running on that pitch, and it allowed the second baseman to be at the bag when he picked up the ball, so it made it much easier as the 1-0 in there for a strike. Middle infield for the Dodgers at double play depth, outfield straight away. Not a lot of wind to speak of. As Menfie will check the runner at first, and we did see Ebersol take off his first time. And the delivery is a hard-hit ground ball through the hole on the right side. Ebersol is going to stop at second base as Torres is up with it quickly, and now 2 on and just 1 away as Clayton Bain will come to the plate.
From Radford University, number 10, Clayton Bain.
And that location continues to be an issue, and if I'm if I'm the manager of the Dodgers, I'm blanking on his name. Brown.
Manager Derek Brown.
Derek Brown. I'm thinking about going out there at some point with a mound visit and possibly warming up my bullpen.
Menfee will deliver, and he's going to miss up high here. Don't have too much of an issue with that hit there. Obviously early in the count, and a good piece of hitting going the other way for Colin Watt. Clayton Bain with a check swing bouncer back to the pitcher. Pop up high and out into center field. Coming on is Doyle. He'll make the catch. Now 2 away and 2 on for the River Dogs as Casey Collin will come to the plate.
Northeastern University, number 19, Colin Casey.
Colin Casey last time hit a 2-hopper to the shortstop, D. Shelton. And Shelton just, I think, maybe too lackadaisical on the throw to first. Got under it a little bit and threw it over the head of the first baseman, Paul Nixon, as a swing and a foul back. Menfee ahead in the count, no balls and 1 strike. So we've seen Menfee in a lot of trouble in the early going, so sort of laboring a little bit. You know, when you're constantly having to pitch with runners on base, it definitely puts a strain as he changes up his delivery a little bit here. And missing down low with that, as I guess he was trying to keep the running game intact. But we talked about this yesterday with 2 away. That runner at first base can't hurt you if the batter gets out. So you can't really worry about him too much, as the 2-1 pitch, or excuse me, the 1-1 pitch is on the inside half for a strike. Now we saw yesterday Shelton playing a lot of cat and mouse with the runner at second base with 2 away, and you hate to give up your defensive position with 2 away, as he's doing some more shuffling here to get back into position. That breaking ball missing outside. You might want to 86 that curveball for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Now, because he's already hit a couple batters with it, and he's missing it arm side a lot. So that might be something you don't want to throw the rest of the game. He's got a fastball here. It's popped up in the infield, well, into foul territory. As DePino coming over, he's going to make the catch for the out, and that's going to do it as Dodgers getting a bit of trouble, but Menfee able to work out of it. We're going to head to the bottom of the third. It's 2-1 River Dogs. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. There we go. Bottom of the third inning, Dodgers trail by 1. And Taj Porter, 9-1-2 for the Dodgers in this inning.
Batting now, the second baseman from Pasco Hernando Junior College, number 26,
Porter coming in last night, going 1 for 4 and striking out twice.
Yeah, Porter, we mentioned earlier, is in his second season with the Dodgers. He swings and misses. An off-speed pitch to begin the at-bat. Porter playing a lot of third base last year. We've seen him twice this season at second. The 0-1, fly ball out into center. Going back is Crane. He's going to make the catch for out number 1. I'm going to bring top of the order, Trevor Doyle coming to the plate.
Doyle singling to left field last at bat. Good heads-up base running, advanced him all the way to third off of stealing the second base.
And the first pitch to him on the inside part of the plate for a strike.
Hey, Matthew, Doyle is 16.
And the 0-1. Down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Dodger freshman. Lefty-righty matchup. Doyle waits the 1-1. Here it comes. And he's going to chop it back up the middle. Lloyd over to get it. His throw to first. Pulls the first baseman off the bag as he kind of jumped and leapt at the same time. So Doyle's going to reach on an E4, and let's see if the Dodgers can make them pay.
Batting now, the shortstop from Hillsborough Junior College, number 1, D. Shelton.
D. Shelton his last time struck out looking. His first delivery him is going to miss down low. Good speed over there at first base. The Dodgers with the steal in the first inning by Doyle. Just 3 steals on the year, which is the fewest in the Cal Ripken League. Not a big running team are the Dodgers. At least not yet. Hopefully they'll get better at it as the season goes on, as that foul ball is going to get out of play over towards the parking lot.
I was going to say the 9, 1, and 2 spots are a good, speedy part of the lineup, as we haven't seen Porter much on the base paths, but that athletic play earlier in the game clearly shows he has the speed to become a
runner
base stealer.
goes, ground ball to second base. Right there is Lloyd, and he'll throw to first base. And this time they'll get the out as Bain making sure he had his foot on the bag.
Batting now, the left fielder from the Ohio State University, number 25, Jake Ruby.
And that'll bring Jake Ruby to the plate. He flew out to center field. Time called at the plate. Flew out to center field, but drove in a run on the sacrifice fly. Doyle getting a lead out at second base, and the first delivery to Ruby is going to miss outside. Ruby getting to the team a little bit late. We didn't see him the first 3 games here at Joe Cannon. We got to see him for the first time yesterday. So he awaits the 1-0. And a pop-up on the infield. Third baseman Watt right there, and he makes the catch, of the Dodgers get a runner on base, get him to second, but can't do anything with it. We're going to head to the 4th, and I'm going to turn things over to Matt Kleindienst for the play-by-play. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball.
And we welcome you back here to Joe Cannon Stadium for the top of the 4th inning. The River Dogs on top of the Dodgers 2-1 here. Now batting for the River Dogs, Connor Bain, right fielder. Last time he flew out to Trevor Doyle in center field. Menfee still out on the mound here as the pitch just a bit outside and low. That'll be ball 1. Menfee so far in this game hitting 3 batters so far and giving up 2 hits.
Yep.
And the delivery. In there for strike 1.
Yeah, Bain coming out of Loudoun Valley High School didn't, again, another one of those players that hasn't played any college baseball yet. Going to be going to George Mason.
Third pitch is outside. That's ball 2.
Clearly I missed that the last time. George Mason went 1 for 3 in yesterday's game, stole 2 bases, which is actually interesting because his 60 time isn't that impressive, just 7.33 seconds in his 60-yard dash.
That pitch hit pop fly. Doyle chasing it down, and he'll record it for out number 1.
Getting that fly ball out there is big to get that first out of the inning.
Jamarian Crane now up the bat. 5'11" sophomore from Alabama Southern Community College. Last time was hit by a pitch. One of the 2 men on the lineup for the River Dogs to do so. Grounder to third. Launches over to first, and he gets him. That's out number 2.
Very nice play there by Paul DePino as that ball right down the line. He was able to navigate the bag with his feet and not trip over the bag as he ended up on top of it and threw across the diamond.
You're right. He used that third base bag almost like a launching pad to put his entire body behind that throw. Able to record a nice out. Third batter of the inning, Brady Lloyd. 2 singles so far in both bats.
Yeah, Lloyd has had the number of Menfee, and you see that first pitch. He tries to come in a little bit and maybe get him leaning out over the plate.
Second pitch, swung on and missed, strike 2. Menfee working quickly through the 8, 9, and 1 spot for the River Dogs. And the pitch swung on and missed.
And this is where Menfee's gotten himself in trouble, trying to throw those curveballs in these counts. And we've seen him miss it arm side here. So he's either got to really get on top of it or maybe not go with that pitch.
And the pitch swung on, dribbled foul down the third base line.
Now, that looked like a fastball by Menfee, and Lloyd was all over it. He was ready for it, and he actually got around on it and hit it to the third base coaching box. So now you want to come off speed, so you almost have to throw something off speed here. So maybe that curveball again, but he's got to get around it.
The pitch swung on, pop fly, chasing it down is Daryl Torres and records the third out of the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the River Dogs, and we'll head to the bottom of the 4th with more Baltimore Dodgers baseball. And welcome back to Joe Cannon Stadium here, bottom fourth inning. River Dogs on top of the Baltimore Dodgers here 2-1. As Colin Berg returning to the plate, he flew out to left field his first at-bat in the first inning. Went 3 for 5 last night in the loss to the Braves. One of the more consistent at-bats of the entire lineup in last night's game. Swung on up the middle. Can the second baseman get it? He gets it, but he isn't able to make the throw. It'll be a single for Berg.
Yeah, it would certainly be a tough error to give right there. So a single for Colin Berg to lead things off, which is big for the Dodgers. They've had runners on base in every single inning, but have only been able to get the 1 run. But if we can get another Nixon double here, we can see a decent running Colin Berg come all the way around.
Paul Nixon last at bat took a big Paul Bunyan swing that went over the head of the right fielder, Connor Bain. As the first pitch swung on, popped high and shallow, and that will be made by Colin Watt for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, we mentioned before that Nixon trying to go deep, trying to get extra bases every single time. And if you watch his practice swings, he actually kind of dips the shoulder. Like, that's what he's trying to do every time. So that's what you're going to get a lot of, is those kind of pop-ups and, just normal fly ball outs if you don't hit it right.
He's really trying to get that launch angle right so he can drive it out of the ballpark, but he needs to worry about contact hitting as well. First pitch in there for strike 1 on the outside corner. Paul DePino struck out the last time swinging.
Well, he was a little discombobulated because he didn't get his walk-up music, and they called him something else. So he just didn't know what was going on.
Second pitch on the way, swung on down the third base line, bobbled a bit, and he's not going to get the throw off. That'll go down as an E5.
Yeah, hard hit, but you got to make that play. It's right at you. And that's going to be charged as an error for the River Dogs, the third of the game so far for the River Dogs. As we mentioned, 4 errors in yesterday's win, and so far the errors are starting to pile up, and we're here in the 4th inning.
What was it, the one game against the Grays, we got up to 9, 7 alone by the Dodgers.
Now, just the 1 so far for the Dodgers today, and it seems like they've cleaned up the defense a little bit.
First pitch on the way, a bit high. Ball 1.
Yeah, Nick Graham in yesterday's ball game drove in a run with a single in the first, and also reached base being hit by a pitch. Went 1 for 4 on the day.
Checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Hit behind home plate and going towards us, but hits the net. There's a good reason why there's a net there.
Yeah, that's coming back pretty hard. I mean, if I didn't have access to as many baseballs as I pretty much wanted because they got the practice balls and stuff, I'd be like, man, let's take this net out. I'll start catching some balls. There's only like a handful that come up here every game.
And the pitch inside and gets Graham. Looks like it got him on the top of the shoulder, or maybe the elbow. So he'll take his base.
That's the 4th hit batter in the game. Oh no, they're not going to give him first base.
It looks like it from where I'm sitting.
That is not a good call right there, to be perfectly honest, because what he's going to say is that he intentionally hit the ball. But in the rules, if the ball he's saying he leaned into it, which I don't think he did. He's saying he let him hit it. He saw it coming and didn't try and get out of the way. That's actually not in the rules. If the ball's in the batter's box, you don't have to move. You can let it hit you, but as long as you don't reach out with the elbow to make it hit you, you're fine.
I was going to say, he didn't move at all. He just stood still like a statue and just got him on the elbow guard. And granted, that elbow guard is pretty big, but he didn't lean into that at all, so that's not the issue here. And that's what Coach Brown's arguing about. That should be a walk on a hit batter.
Should definitely be a hit by pitch. But this is the second time this season we've seen the umpire call it. The first time I agreed with it because we saw the batter, and I believe it was Graham, lean with the elbow to get hit. But this time he just stood there and let it hit him. And it's not a rule, that if you let it hit you, that you don't get it. If you make it hit you, it is. But if you just stand there and let the ball hit you, it's not a hit by pitch, or it is a hit by pitch.
Brown can argue all he wants, but the umpire right behind home plate is just not going to budge here. And Graham is back in there. Count 2 balls, 1 strike here with 1 out. The pitch swung on and right down the third base line, but foul. Runners on first and second here. An opportunity to tie up this game. Colin Berg got some speed on second, as you mentioned.
A decent runner for a catcher, but not a lot of speed.
Fly ball deep left field. It is going to be over the head of left fielder. 1 run comes in. Graham will reach second, fine. Here comes the throw at the plate, and he is out at home. Paul DePino tried racing all the way home from first, but did not get there in time. The 1 run will score. It is tied at 2. And Nick Graham will race all the way to third.
Yeah, RBI double to tie it up for Nick Graham. DePino thought he might have caught the ball and stopped. And that's what happened right there. Is DePino stopped in between second and third. He thought that the ball might have been caught. And then couldn't get going again, and eventually he gets thrown out at the plate.
Pitch low and outside for Daryl Torres. Torres grounded into a 5-3 putout in the second inning. Swung on and foul ball off his ankle.
So that's got to feel pretty good for Graham. You get hit in the arm, but you don't get credit for it. And then you come in and get an RBI double to tie the game. Almost 2 runs.
And the pitch. Back up the middle to the second baseman, and he'll take care of him easily, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. Nonetheless, though, an RBI double from Nick Graham ties it up at 2, and we'll head to the top of the 5th inning with more Baltimore Dodgers baseball. And we welcome you back to Joe Cannon Stadium here. The top of the 5th inning here after an exciting bottom of the 4th as Nick Graham doubled to left field, driving in a run from Colin Berg. Paul DePino tried making that 2 runs on the double, but was called out at the plate. Menfee still in the game, throws it down to plate, and is called for a strike. Alejandro Aponte, the 6-foot, 175-pound senior from George Mason, is from Venezuela. Actually earned varsity letters in water polo and swimming. And that ball is popped high to DePino, and he'll get it for out number 1.
He has had an adventure with those pop flies this year, and I keep wanting to say I'm going to have to go over there and do a little coaching for him before the next game. Hey, by the way, on those pop flies in foul territory, the ball is going to come back to the infield, so always kind of stay behind it. He's had a couple that have curved back behind his head and that have fallen down. Luckily, that one making the play before, because it would have been a fair ball, and that would have been no good for the Dodgers.
Check swing, but strike regardless for Matthew Thomas at the plate. He's grounded into a 6-3 putout and a 4-3 putout in his first 2 at-bats. Swung on, going to D. Shelton at short. And he gets that throw in time for out number 2.
Yeah, second time. 3 straight ground ball outs for Matthew Thomas. The second time he's grounded out to short. And you can see Thomas, if you can see on your screen there, he's kicking at the dirt because he got a nice, he got a really high hop on that last bounce. He had to reach up well above his head to make that play.
Jordan Ebersol at the plate. Menfie's first pitch is a bit outside for ball 1.
Don't lie to the people.
I
They
was
can see the
going to say,
picture.
when I say a bit outside, I mean by about 2 feet. Second pitch on the way is a bit low and kicks up some dirt. 2-0 in the count now. Menfie's been working pretty quickly these past 2 frames.
You have to imagine if Ebersol has happy feet in there. He can't be planting too hard, as he's been hit twice by Menfie. It looks like Menfie staying away here, maybe afraid to hit him a third time.
3-0 now for Ebersol. He'll probably take this pitch. Inside for ball 4, so he gets walked on 4 pitches.
Has yet to record an at-bat in today's ball game. He's been on base 3 times.
East Carolina University, number 42, Colin Watt.
And Colin Watt back into the batter's box. He hit into a fielder's choice the first inning and then had a single to right field the second inning.
Yeah, right-handed hitter going the other way off the right-handed pitcher. It's a good job of hitting.
Pitch is low, so that'll be ball 1.
5 straight balls for Menfie.
Still no action in the bullpen for the Dodgers. His second pitch. High, right down the middle, but a bit high, so ball 2 now. 6 straight balls for Menfie.
Menfie taking a second right here. He's going to gather himself before stepping back on the rubber. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Ebersol take off here. Maybe get a...
He's taking a pretty sizable lead here as that third pitch is called in for a strike.
I was going to say get a free out on a stolen base, but the big jump he almost had would not have been good for the Dodgers.
You don't want to be that third out, especially if you're on the base paths. 2-1 to count now. Ebersol with a very sizable lead, and there he goes. Berg, and he overthrows. It doesn't even reach Taj Porter, and that ball will go all the way to center field. That ball was thrown, it was wide right, as Porter couldn't even, there was not even an attempt for Porter to catch that thing.
Yeah, Colin Berg's throw tailing to the right field side, well off the mark. So now a runner at third base after the stolen base in the E2. And that is partially on Menfie as well, because both the last 2 pitches, Menfie wasn't really paying attention to the runner, and he was getting a huge, huge lead and jump.
That ball hit foul down the right field line.
So another big moment in the game for the Dodgers. They got a runner at third base and 2 away and a 3-2 count. We'll see if he can dig in and get the 5-hitter for the River Dogs.
Menfie with the payoff. And that'll be ball 4 as it was low and outside. And the runners will now be at the corners now for the River Dogs, as Clayton Bain will take the plate. 0 for 2 today as he hit into a 1-3 putout and flew out to center field in his 2 at-bats, as Brown will take a visit to the mound. Still no activity in the Dodgers bullpen.
Well, this is Menfie's inning to get out of. You got the first 2. You got the first 2 outs, and then you've walked the next 2 batters. He did just motion for somebody to go start warming up. It looks like Wilhelm Allen is heading down to the bullpen to maybe start throwing some balls. I wasn't sure if maybe Menfie was motioning to something on his arm, but it looks like he's just getting somebody warm, because if Menfie was having some arm issues and an injury, they could take him out of the game and allow the reliever, who it looks like I said it's going to be Wilhelm Allen, to take as much time as he wanted, and you don't have to keep the starting pitcher in if he's got an injury. So that must not be what the case is.
Pop fly, left field is going deep, but Jake Ruby will corral that in for the 3rd out of the inning. 2-2 to score as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning with more Baltimore Dodgers baseball. And we are back here for the bottom of the 5th inning as the River Dogs and Dodgers are all knotted up at 2 apiece. Taj Porter approaching the plate now. He popped out, to center field to Jamarian Crane, his first at-bat. Foul ball hit behind home plate for the first strike.
Yeah, right on that fastball, man. Inner part, he was trying to turn on that. We were talking triple down that right field line right there. A lot of room down that right field lines. They're shading him a little bit up to center.
That pitch just a bit outside for ball 1. And Taj Porter, the first inning, showing off his speed that he certainly acquired through that college workout program on a very athletic 4-3 putout. 2-1 the count now. Randy Prosperi still in as the pitcher. That pitch outside for 3-1. Good hitters count now for Taj Porter. Sun setting here at Joe Cannon Stadium. The 3-1 pitch is high, and that'll be ball 4. Taj Porter
Yeah, that's a big walk there for Porter. Getting that leadoff walk, as we know, and is kind of become almost cliche in baseball, is that leadoff walk tends to come back to hurt you. So Taj Porter reaching first base there with the leadoff walk.
Trevor Doyle now back out. Last time he reached on an E4. First pitch, he squares up the bunt, pulls back, and that'll be ball one.
And Taj Porter, we mentioned adding a little bit of speed, or well, more dropping weight, and then, obviously that's going to help you with your speed. Didn't steal often at college this year, just 2 attempts, and he was caught both times.
Prosperi checking back with Porter as he had a fairly standard, maybe a little bit of a big lead there. Gets in safely.
We'll see what Doyle does here, but he's one of the hotter Dodger hitters. You may take the bat out of his hand here.
And that he does. Lays down a bunt. Catcher has to go get it. It's going to be close, and it's overthrown. Doyle racing around. Porter stopped. And Porter races all the way to third. Time is called. Doyle with the good bunt. Casey overthrew Clayton Bain. That ball going all the way to the River Dogs bullpen as Doyle was rounding first. Taj Porter hesitated between second and third. Just had to settle for staying at third. So time is called. River Dogs manager now trying to go over situational game plan with Prosperi and the rest of the infield.
So just wanted to double check with the official scoring there. That's going to be ruled a base hit for Trevor Doyle, and the runners both advancing on the error by the catcher Casey. So it wasn't the best bunt in the world. That's the thing. He squared the bunt the first time, yet he laid down a bunt that typically isn't one that you see for a base hit. But I don't know if Prosperi wasn't ready for it or maybe even Watt wasn't ready, but it was a little bit too close to the pitcher for it to be a good base hit bunt. It would have been perfectly fine for a sacrifice, but good speed coming out of that left side batter's box by Trevor Doyle, and he's able to beat it out for a hit and then get runners at second and third because of the error.
No outs now for the speedster in D. Shelton. Shelton was put out on a 4-3 in the third inning. The pitch, good hanging slider, and that'll be strike one for D. Shelton.
Yeah, for D. Shelton here, we need just sort of anything past the corner infields. Anything to the middle infield will get you a run and get you that lead.
Swung on and missed as that pitch was a bit outside and low for strike two.
Yeah, back-to-back breaking balls. I don't think Shelton was ready for that. I think he was looking fastball on the 0-1 count. Now they're going to bring the infield in on 0-2. I have to imagine he's going to go back to the well one more time. So if he hangs a breaking ball here, Shelton can jump all over it.
Doyle has a very sizable lead at second. That pitch is outside for ball one.
And they did try and throw a breaking ball, but Prosperi just didn't get a hold of it, and it went well outside. Watch for him to come back with a fastball now.
Runners both in scoring position now with no outs here for D. Shelton. Infield playing in, and the pitch swung on, hit foul right behind home plate, hitting the net. Was right at eye level for me.
Well, good job by you not ducking under the table like you have been doing when the balls are coming back at us.
Hey, listen, I have a pretty good excuse, okay? I got hit in the face when I was in 4th grade playing Little League Baseball. And that pitch is a pop fly down the left field line, and it'll just be foul as Jordan Ebersol was chasing that thing down.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was going to try and dive for that because we might have saw Doyle try and tag two right there. That sacrifice fly from second base. You'll see that in slow pitch softball all the time where guys will tag at second base and score on a deep fly ball. But you don't see it very much with the 90-foot bases in baseball.
1-2 now for Shelton, no outs. Center fielder playing pretty shallow as well. Swung on and a miss. Strike one for D. Shelton.
Strike how many? Strike three.
Strike. What did I say?
Strike one.
Oops. I'm forgetting the English language here.
I think we both are. Oh, people need to get rhythm. If you hear the clapping, they're not quite on it. We're hearing firecracker pops. It's like clap, 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 clap. Like 3 different distinct claps going on.
Has no one taken any music classes in high school?
Must not be.
I come from a family of musicians. My grandparents both have their doctorates in music education, actually, so
Oh, wow.
I would know pretty well about staying in beat.
That ball is missing low. I don't know why I said that. That's your job.
That's what I was going to say. I was about to say that, but it's, again, forgetting the English language
Well,
here.
no, I mean, I'm just
All
we were
right.
talking about music and all that, and then I just lost where I was for a second.
That pitch outside, but called strike. Looks a bit outside for me, but it looks like it caught just the outside corner. Enough for strike one here.
We'll have to check the pitch tracks on that one, but we're going to have to wait a few years.
And the pitch. Outside again. It's the third pitch he's gone outside with. It's 2 balls, 1 strike now.
The difference there is that was a breaking ball. So it looks further outside as it comes back in. The last one was a fastball, so it might have been a little bit off the plate, but it's easier to call that a strike than a curveball that comes in off the plate.
2-1 for Ruby. Here's the pitch. Swung on, pop fly, heading
Get out of
towards
play.
the right field fence, and the first baseman isn't going to be able to corral that.
That's one of those things where we've got to paint the good picture because that's out of the reach, out of the view of our television screen here. So that ball did end up out of play.
Again, the situation here, runners are on second and third with 1 out here. 2-2 to count now for Jake Ruby.
You absolutely have to cash in this inning, having runners at second and third and nobody out. To get out of it, to end this inning with no runs scored would be very bad.
And the pitch. Outside for ball 3, a full count now with 1 out.
Yeah, good eye by Ruby there, not chasing that delivery that missing down and away outside, trying to get that chase pitch was Prosperi, but Ruby with very good patience.
And the pitch. Swung on, right field line, foul ball.
Yeah, he got way out in front of that, but got a lot on it. Unfortunately, it ends up over towards the forest over there down the right field line, but he definitely got a good piece of it. If he can find that and straighten that out, we could see a couple runs come home.
Full count now for Ruby here. Here's the payoff pitch from Prosperi. Inside for ball 4, and the bases are loaded for the Baltimore Dodgers with 1 away.
That's a great at-bat by Jake Ruby. Got down in the count early, but was able to battle back, foul off a couple of pitches, and then ends up working the walk and loads the bases for Colin Berg. He's already got a hit today and was 3 for 5 yesterday.
Colin Berg, of course, scoring on the RBI double from Nick Graham last inning. First pitch to him. Check swing, but that won't matter. Strike 1. Right down the center of the plate.
Yep, I think Berg a little upset with himself there. Is he knew that was a good pitch to pull the trigger on. The one downfall to that walk there by Ruby is that it puts the double play in order, and Berg is a candidate for that.
Swung on a miss on the breaking ball. That's strike 2. Again, working with a bases loaded situation. The infield playing for a double play.
Yeah, Paul Nixon on deck. Be one of those situations where I think playing for the base hit is the best way.
And the pitch. In the dirt for ball 1. Of course, Paul Nixon's probably thinking, I'm going to get a grand slam here. I'm going to hit the water tower.
Yeah, I mean, that is his approach. And to be perfectly honest, that's kind of the way the game is going, especially in the major leagues. It's strikeout or home run is basically what you're going for. So power is such a big thing in the pros, and it's trickling down.
Foul ball behind home plate. 1-2 now still for Colin Berg. And as you mentioned about that, what was it, the first month that we were pretty close to having the first month in baseball in history where there was more strikeouts than actual base hits. I mean, as you mentioned, power is becoming such a big important thing in baseball these days. As you're seeing a rise of a lot of young, big power hitters. Instead of swinging straight through, they're increasing their launch angles, trying to hit for the fences. 1-2 now for Berg. Breaking ball just a bit outside.
Yeah, it's a good eye right there, is that breaking ball almost catching the strike zone, but Berg able to spit on it and even the count.
I'm a bit further off to the left, so that looked good from where I was sitting.
I think it was called high.
2-2 now. The pitch swung on, dribbler down the third base line. Going home now, and he is out at home. Bases will be loaded, but the Taj Porter called out at home. Good fundamental awareness by Colin Watt there to throw out the batter at home.
Yeah, good play there by Watt. The throw did bring Casey down to the ground, and for the catcher, you want to pretty much hit him in the chest because that's where you know, he doesn't have the biggest glove, right? It's more padded than it is big, so the throw has got to be a little bit better, but a good job by Casey to keep his foot on the plate and make the catch.
Nixon, dribbler up to the shortstop, and he will dump it off to the second baseman, and that'll be the end of the inning. 3 men were left on, the bases loaded, and they could not cash in. 2-2 to score. We'll be right back with more Baltimore Dodgers baseball. And we welcome you back to Joe Cannon Stadium. We're at the top of the 6th inning now. The River Dogs and Dodgers are tied at 2. We have a pitching change now for the Baltimore Dodgers as Wilhelm Allen, a 5'11 junior from Marrero, Louisiana, goes to Southern University.
That's Marrero.
Marrero.
Yeah, missed an R. Marrero.
His first batter he'll be facing is Colin Casey, and that first pitch is outside for ball 1.
Casey reaching on an error and then popping up to the third baseman, DePino, so far today.
And the pitch swung on, hit foul ball right behind home plate and into the stands.
Wilhelm Allen from Southern University appeared in 18 games with ended up with a 2-3 record. 30 innings pitched, 25 runs, 19 were earned, which is good for a 5.64 ERA. Walked 27, struck out just 20, and just over an 8 walks per 9. So he's also had some issues with control as well in the college season.
1-1 the count now with no outs for Casey. The pitch high and outside for ball 2. Allen has also made an appearance on June 8th against the DC Grays in a loss that resulted 9-11. Was recorded the loss. He had 2 innings pitched. 2 runs came across, both of them earned. Gave up 3 hits and walked 1 with no strikeouts. Another foul ball hit behind home plate and into the stands, evens the count at 2.
And Jordan Menfee, the book closed on him. He's going to get a no decision. 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 unearned runs, walked 2, hit 3 batters, and didn't strike out anybody, which I'm surprised. He usually gets a few strikeouts being a power pitcher.
Breaking ball outside for ball 3 now. Full count now for Colin Casey. A little bit of a better outing for outing for Menfee compared to his first game. That ball hit foul right behind home plate. Menfee, of course, the first time he made an appearance was pulled after 2 pitched innings. Allen with a full count now. Here's the pitch. Swung on, and it will drop down for a base hit. Colin Casey to open up the inning with a single.
Yeah, one of those excuse me singles off the bat of Colin Casey. Didn't exactly mean much behind that swing. It was just kind of a lay the bat head out there type of single. Didn't get much behind it, but it's enough to get the ball over the infield and in front of the right fielder.
Batting now, of course, for the River Dogs is Connor Bain. Flew out twice, both of them to center field. And Trevor Doyle. So no outs now for Bain. Pitch just a bit outside, excuse me, and that will be called for strike 1.
Yeah, good outside half delivery there by Wilhelm Allen, getting that first pitch strike. Giving off that leadoff single, you got to come back and attack the next hitter.
Checks the runner at first, and the time is called.
And time called at the plate, my guess probably by Bain, as Wilhelm Allen taking a little bit of time to get himself settled in.
0-1 count now for Bain. Here's the pitch. Inside and gets him in this square in the back, and he is certainly feeling that.
That's the 4th batter hit by a pitch by Dodgers pitching, and that's a problem for the Dodgers today, obviously, with 4 hit batters. Actually, coming into today, the River Dogs led the league in hitting batters with 9. The Dodgers already almost halfway there.
DePino going over to the mound to talk to Wilhelm Allen. So we've replaced the errors with hit batters now, as the trend now going for the Baltimore Dodgers. Batter now is Jamarian Crane. He was also hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. He's put away in a 5-3 put out. Awaiting the pitch. Here's the pitch. Bit outside and low, but called for a strike regardless. 0-1 now. Runners now at 1st and 2nd. Infield playing back now. Shortstop and second baseman playing for the double play. Here's the pitch. Called strike 2.
We keep saying this, but in a tight scoring game like this, another big pitch right here You want to get this strikeout to get that double play away from ending the inning.
Allen checking from second. Here's the pitch. Swung on back up the middle, and that'll be a base hit. 1 run coming around third. The throw coming home, and couldn't get there. There was a collision, and Casey will score. That'll be the 3rd run for the River Dogs. Throw was in time. Bird could not corral that in. There was a collision at the plate. 3rd run will come across now. That'll be recorded as a double, I believe.
Single.
Single.
Yeah, an RBI single for Crane. He's going to move to second base on the throw, as well as Bain moving to third on the throw.
Brady Lloyd now at the plate. He swings at that first pitch, and it's going to be pop fly.
Foul.
It's going to be foul ball into the bullpen of the River Dogs.
The Dodgers in a bad spot now. Already pitcher warming up for them. Looks like it's Joe Peluso. But second and third and nobody out, and already trailing by 1.
Infield playing in at this point. Awaiting the pitch. Allen. Catches him looking, and that'll be a strike. 0-2 now with no outs. And the payoff pitch. Inside, and another batter is hit. Square in the back once again.
That one with a fastball trying to go in. Goes too far in, hits a batter. That's the 5th hit batter of the game for the Dodgers. And manager Derek Brown out to speak with his pitcher. Just it's sloppy. So many honestly, 3 hit batters by Menfee, now 2 in, well, no innings. For Allen, he's done. His day is over. And it looks like Joe Peluso coming in.
Joe Peluso coming in, and he's in a rough spot now as the bases will be loaded when we resume play here. We'll step aside here for about a minute or so. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. And we welcome you back to Joe Cannon Stadium here as a new pitcher now for the Baltimore Dodgers is Keaton Bradley, the 6'4", 225-pound sophomore from Prince George Community College, hometown of the Bahama, North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just sometimes we didn't see who was warming up for the Dodgers. All I could see was the hair down there. I didn't see the number, and Peluso with the long locks as well. Keaton Bradley going to come in for the Dodgers.
First pitch down low for ball one. He inherits a bases loaded situation with no outs now for the River Dogs.
Yeah, so Allen doesn't even get through a third of an inning and has already allowed 1 run with 3 that are his responsibility.
Pop fly right behind home plate. Berg trying to chase that down and is at the wall, and he cannot corral that in.
Yeah, he was a little late recognizing, and that's one of the harder things for a catcher is to locate that pop-up. He's got to get a lot of help from his friends. You heard the yelling, and Colin Berg trying to get back there in time to make the catch. And this, you can't understate what just happened in the bottom half of the 5th inning and what's happening now in the top of the 6th. The Dodgers had a chance to absolutely break it open, and now it's the River Dogs' turn.
I'm not going to put it lightly here. The Dodgers these past few games have been extremely inconsistent as the ball hit. Another single, another run will score for the River Dogs. It is now 4-2. We're watching this scenario play out again and again for the Baltimore Dodgers. Again, as I mentioned earlier at the start of the inning, that we're now exchanging errors for hit batters now, and they're putting the Dodgers defenders in sticky situations. It just seems like they're finding creative ways to lose almost.
Yeah, and it's got to be frustrating. Up until yesterday, the Dodgers actually could have won all 4 of the games that they played. They had not entered the 9th inning trailing at that point, but they did yesterday after a very big middle inning for the Braves, and we've got another big middle inning going for the River Dogs.
Pop fly, and that's going to be another single that gets down to the right fielder. Another run scores. Here comes the play at the plate, and the throw's not going to make it in time. It's going to be 2 runs that come across now. 6-2 now for the River Dogs, and this just keeps on piling up.
Yeah, 2-run base hit there for Matthew Thomas. I don't think there was very good communication in the infield because Porter got the throw from his right fielder Torres, and he would have had the play at the plate, but he never even looked to throw there. But now runners at the corners, and Thomas with 2 RBIs on that base hit.
6-2 now. As stated, as Keaton Bradley, his first pitch inside, another batter was almost hit. I was about to call that he did get hit, but just seemed to avoid that one. It's 0-1. It's 1-0 in the count. I'm sorry.
And the line score is now closed for Allen, and it's not going to look good for his stats.
Second pitch, that's in there for a strike, 1-1.
As he gets through no innings, not even a third of an inning pitched, gave up 2 hits, 4 earned runs, hit 2 batters, and didn't strike out a batter. So it's not going to look good for him. The Dodgers trailing
another inside pitch
by 4 here in the top of the 6th.
Ebersol barely avoiding that one again as that one was low and inside. It's 2-1 now with runners at the corner. Still no outs for the Baltimore Dodgers. And the pitch. Swung on, pop fly right behind home plate. Nixon corralling underneath that one, and he'll record the first out of the inning.
Yeah, get that first one on the board, and maybe start working towards the next 2 is kind of what you're going for, what you have to do. As Colin Watt's going to stand in now, and just it's been a nightmarish middle of the game for the Dodgers these last 2 games.
Again, another situation. This is almost like around the same point where it happened last night with the Braves, as they had a very big inning. First pitch in there for strike 1. The River Dogs have so far accounted for 4 runs. And again, to remind everybody, the previous inning, the Dodgers had the bases loaded with 1 out. Pop fly right behind second base, and Dario Torres will come in with that one. That's his 2nd out.
Now you have to wonder, runner at third base, Aponte, he actually came halfway down the line. He wasn't tagging. You wonder if maybe he tries to test that arm right there, even though it was a shallow pop-up. maybe that's something that they try and do there with this 4-run lead currently.
Batting now is Clayton Bain. Clayton Bain in now with 2 outs and the runners at the corners. And the pitch. Inside, he checked on that, but that will be ball 1.
So in the last 2 games for the Dodgers, they've allowed 9 runs in the 5th inning. That's to this point.
The pitch. Inside again and a bit high. That's ball 2.
So the 5th inning, this particular homestand has just been a pretty, let's say, saddening, to say the least.
Pitch in there, strike 1. 2-1 now the count with 2 outs. Saddening is a bit of a understatement, as right now at the 6th inning, the 5th inning of the last game, the Braves scored 5 runs off of 2 triples, one of them clearing the bases on a bases loaded situation. Pop fly right behind first base. It's going to be in foul territory, and Torres cannot corral that one.
Yeah, there's a bench right there, unfortunately. So Torres not really able to getting into any type of slide or anything like that to try and make that catch before running into the fence. So he did pull up a little bit, but you can't really blame him because, well, let's be honest. You don't want to go face first, then to a bench.
Yeah, no, not a good situation at all. 2-2 now still. Another big pitch for Keaton Bradley trying to stop the bleeding at the top of the 6th inning. But again, I mentioned it at the beginning of the, earlier in the game actually, that it's going to be really difficult for the Dodgers batters to keep on accounting for the mistakes of the pitchers, as that ball went into the dirt. Ball went into the dirt, and Ebersol takes off for second base. Excuse me, that was Thomas that took off for second. And the pitch swung on, deep shot, left field. That ball is out of here, home run. And the River Dogs add 3 more, 9-2. 7 runs at the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, Clayton Bain had not been. They had not gotten Clayton Bain had not recorded a hit all game, and he comes through with a big 3-run homer there as he gets the barrel of the bat on the ball, hits it over the left field fence, and that'll bring Colin Casey, the 10th batter of the inning, to the plate.
And the pitch in there for strike 1. The air has been sucked out of the Baltimore Dodgers bench. Swung on, and Taj Porter comes up with the catch to record the 3rd out, and finally ends the top of the 6th inning. 7 runs come across the last set, coming off a 3-run home run. As we approach the bottom of the 6th inning, this is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. welcome back to Joe Cannon Stadium. It's the bottom of the 6th inning now, 9-2 as your score. Seemed like 1 minute, it was 2-2, and in a blink of an eye, it's now 9-2.
Blink of an eye. That was an eternity. It felt like an eternity. They could not get anybody out. The River Dogs just starting to pound Dodger pitching. 7 runs on 5 hits in that inning.
Paul DePino now into bat. Of course, the big highlight of that very long, drawn-out top of the 6th inning was the Clayton Bain home run. DePino hits that one. It's going to drop for a single out in left field. That gets the hitting started for the Baltimore Dodgers as they have a long road to climb.
Yeah. So they start things off with a single there as DePino looked like maybe got that a little bit of a fisty shot out there as it didn't carry very far, and Ebersol just kind of let it drop in front of him, not really charging to try and make the catch.
Nick Graham up the bat now. And an RBI double, his last at bat. He swings on the first pitch he sees. It goes to third, and he can't corral that one, and the no throw will be made. So that'll be an E5 on the third baseman, Colin Watt.
Yeah, so not sure what happened there. The ball bounced head high, and he just kind of missed it. And maybe that's the break the Dodgers need? Could be.
Possibly. I mean, he was thinking about that double play before the ball even got into his glove.
Yeah, so maybe the Dodgers' bottom of the order can swing things around to the top, and they can start getting some hits of their own.
Dario Torres now swings at the first pitch he sees to center field. It's going to be shallow, and that is the first out of the game inning.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit off the end of the bat there by Torres. Didn't get all of it. And a little lazy fly ball out to center field for the first out of the inning. As the switch hitting Taj Porter coming to the plate, and he'll see if we can swing things back up to the top of the order with a couple of runners in scoring position.
Taj Porter was walked on his last at bat, and he was tagged out on the Nick Graham RBI double as he tried coming around from first and was called out at the plate. First pitch, one outside, ball 1. Checking the runner at second, here's the pitch. Swung on, pop fly to center field. And we corralled by Jamarian Crane for the second out of the inning.
And that'll bring Trevor Doyle. Doyle's been one of the hotter hitters in the Dodger lineup, so maybe the right guy to have here. He's got a couple of singles today, but neither of them were super hard hit. One was a bunt single, and the other one a little flare out in the left. But that flare will get a run home, at least potentially here with DePino out at second.
First pitch, outside for ball 1. Again, Trevor Doyle, one of the more consistent batters of the Dodgers tonight. Second pitch to him, just a bit outside for ball 2. These past 2 games, there have been big hits that have broken the backs and the hearts of the Baltimore Dodgers. Top of the 5th inning of last night's game against the Braves, where there were 2 triples. And now tonight, a 3-run home run off the bat of Clayton Bain.
Yeah, I think the kind of overwhelming story between these last 2 games is the Dodgers hitters not capitalizing in big situations. They left a lot of runners on base, had a bunch of bases loaded opportunities last night, and we saw that in the bottom of the 4th inning as well.
The 3-0 pitch is looked at, but that'll be called strike 1.
So coming into the day, the Dodgers with the second best hitting team in the Cal Ripken League, clearly they don't just count clutch hitting because the clutch hitting has not been there these last 2 games.
Ball's outside for ball 4, and the bases will be loaded once again for the Baltimore Dodgers. Of course, the last time the bases were loaded, they could not capitalize.
As D. Shelton's going to come to the plate. Shelton coming into today's game batting just .222, and he's struck out twice and grounded out, so that batting average is going to drop even lower, possibly coming down below the Mendoza line.
And the pitch for D. Shelton hits it back up the middle to the second baseman, and he'll record the third out of the inning. And we will toss it back to Rob Stadnick at the top of the 7th inning. 9-2 is your score. The River Dogs on top of the Baltimore Dodgers. We'll be right back with more Baltimore Dodgers baseball.
For loving you. Oh, but they don't know you like I do. Nothing but tiny minds in this tiny town. And all they want to do now, girl, is just put you down. 'Cause they're scared of a little bit of soul. They're scared when they lose control. They're scared of a girl who knows how to rock and roll. 'Cause you got a fire. You got a fire. Yeah, you got a fire, little baby, and I ain't gonna put you out. I remember the first time I checked you out. I said I gotta find out what that little cool girl is about. Now you say meet me in the park at the dark, right on top of that hill. Oh, but you don't have to ask me twice, 'cause you know that I will. 'Cause I ain't scared of a little bit of soul. I kinda like when I lose control. I ain't scared.
All right, welcome back to Joe Cannon Stadium. Rob Stadnick alongside Matt Kleindinst as the Dodgers trailing this one by a score of 9-2, a 6-run deficit, as sending Connor Bain out to lead things off. He got hit by a pitch in the 6th that came around to score, as just about everybody in their lineup did, with the exception of Ebersol and Colin Watt. He's going to face Keaton Bradley for the first time today. Take a delivery down low.
You know, you were bringing up an interesting stat. From these past couple innings, the Dodgers have left 6 runners on base. Again, not taking advantage of the opportunities they have with runners in scoring position.
Little fister out behind the second baseman, Porter, but he's able to get out there and turn and make the catch for out number 1. So Bradley able to get in on the hands of Bain, get that soft little pop-up to Porter, and Jamarian Crane now going to bat with 1 away here in the top half of the 7th. You can see in the hits category, the Dodgers with 6 hits so far tonight in 6 innings and just the 2 runs. That's what you call scattering 6 hits. And take a look around the rest of the Cal Ripken League. The T-Bolts and the Aces deadlocked at 6. They're in the top of the 7th inning. The Big Train and the Grays playing a close one in the bottom of the 8th, just 2-1. Is a foul ball getting out of play down the right field line. The Braves and the Giants are deadlocked at 3, and the Redbirds ahead of the Express 5-1. That game in the top of the 7th being played in Rockville. So a bunch of close games, with the exception of the Redbirds Express game and this one now here, which was close for the longest time. And the 1-2 delivery is going to miss down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bradley working quickly. He'll wind and deliver the 2-2. A breaking ball hit hard into left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Right there to cut it off is Ruby. He'll get it into the infield quickly, but a 1-out single for Jamarian Crane. He's got 2 hits on the day.
baseman from East Carolina University.
Again, the River Dogs really working well against the Dodgers pitchers.
Now Brady Lloyd going to stand in. He scored a couple of runs today. He's 2 for 3. Was also hit by a pitch. One of the 5 batters hit by pitches by Dodgers pitching. I said pitch and hitters a lot in that sentence. I think just one of the 5 batters hit by pitches today would have been sufficient as he fouls one off here. I'm still learning too. As the ball slowly bouncing down the steps. One more? No more.
Nope.
That's it.
But
and Colin Berg got to talk to his pitcher.
But again, the shocking thing for me is that the Dodgers seem to finally be working out their errors problem, but now I continue to say it over and over again, and I'm sorry for sounding like a broken record here, Rob, but again, they're replacing all the errors that they would be forcing in these type of situations, so now they're hitting people that comes to the plate.
Yeah, that's and it's not in good situations either. It's a lot of times it's with 2 strikes, runner goes, throw down to second base is in time to get the out.
But I say to you, though, that there is still room for optimism here, as the Dodgers were in a very similar situation with the D.C. Braves, if I'm not mistaken. They were down 6 runs, and they climbed all the way back to tie it up as we entered the top of the 9th inning. So, again, there's still room for hope. This team is very scrappy.
And the 1-1, that's going to miss down low. 2 balls and 1 strike on Brady Lloyd. It's a big caught stealing there. Not really sure why you're running necessarily with a 6-run lead. Let your hitters do their work. You already have 9 hits in the game. It looks like the Dodgers with Damon LaFond warming up in their bullpen.
The best name in the Cal Ripken League.
Absolutely the best name.
And
Derek Brown coming out to talk to his pitcher, and this may be, and he's gonna go to the bullpen here. And to be perfectly honest, I think this is a pitch count situation. So if he throws one more pitch, he may not be available for tomorrow's game.
that makes sense.
So I don't know the 100% rules on all the pitches, and I don't keep an accurate track, but they obviously have to keep track down in the dugouts and everything. But if he threw one more pitch, he wouldn't be able to throw tomorrow, or it could be if he threw one more pitch, he wouldn't be available for like 2 or 3 more days or something like that. So depending on what the rules are, but so they're gonna take Bradley out after it with a 2-2 count and 2 away here in the 7th, and Damon LaFond's first warm-up pitch went wild. But we're gonna come back and talk about Damon LaFond as soon as he's done with his warm-up pitches. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. Bit of an interesting situation, most likely a pitch count situation, as Brady Lloyd with a 2-2 count was facing off against Keaton Bradley, but now it's Damon LaFond, and there's no way that you can say his name without using both first and last name. If you call him LaFond, it's just like whatever. But Damon LaFond, it's the rhyming thing is like the best part about his name. So he's going to come in and try and get this strikeout here, which, by the way, if he gets the strikeout, I believe will go to Keaton Bradley. I have to brush up on those particular rules. The 2-2, and that's a fastball, and we saw a lot of that in his warm-up pitches. Fastballs missing the catcher's glove as it goes well high. Because to me, just watching him, it looks like he throws the ball hard. He does, but I think he's trying too hard to throw it hard, and so he's just ends up being wild. And we saw that all throughout his warm-up pitches. So let's see if he can calm down and get this 3-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, and he got that one in there close enough to get the chase. And Bradley down on strikes again. I think that strikeout is credited to Keaton Bradley because he came in with a 2-2 count. But I'll have to brush up on that. For now, though, we're going to give that to Keaton Bradley as the Riverdogs go down in the 7th. The Dodgers have some runs to catch up, a lot of them, as we head to the bottom half. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. And welcome back to Joe Cannon Stadium. I'm Rob Stadnick alongside Matt Kleindens. And the Dodgers trailing by 6 need to get things going as Jake Ruby is going to stand in as you hear his music slightly in the background and everybody in the stands that's here clapping. Dodgers have rally caps on just outside of your screen off to the left. There's a new pitcher in the game for the Riverdogs, Philip D'Ambrosio. And a foul ball over towards the parking lot. That might have got my car. It's pretty close.
My car's pretty close too, so I'm parking a little bit closer than usual, actually. So
getting a little confident, huh? Off speed pitch in there for a strike, and down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes is Jake Ruby. Ruby 0 for 1, had a sacrifice fly back in the first, and then walked in the 5th. And he also popped out to the third baseman in the 3rd. And he turns on one, hits it down the right field line for a base hit. That's going to go all the way to the corner. I can see 3 here as Ruby heading into second. He's going to keep on going, and he's going to get to third base easily with a stand-up lead-off triple. And that could be the spark that the Dodgers needed as Jake Ruby now at third base with nobody out.
Now that is the type of hit you need if you want to mount a comeback. Now the bench is back into this thing. Now it's the question of stringing a couple good hits together and bringing some runs across, not leaving anybody out there on the base paths.
Now that has been the problem in these last 2 games, and that's leaving runners on base. But let's see if fortunes change here. As standing in now is Colin Berg. That's going to miss up and probably a little bit outside as well. D'Ambrosio making his second appearance. Gave up 4 hits and 3 runs in just 1 inning of work his last time out. And a fly ball out into left, tagging at third base, and coming home is Ruby, and he's going to score as the throw is up the line. Sacrifice fly by Colin Berg.
Just one small step into mounting this comeback. Again, this isn't the first time that the Dodgers have mounted pretty big comebacks. I mean, they did it against the Braves the opening night. They did it again against the DC Braves, which was also a 6-run deficit. Maybe tonight is another night where they mount another big comeback. The question, though, is can they actually come all the way back and pull out the victory?
Well, we'll see what they can do here. Nobody on and 1 out, and Paul Nixon not being able to get comfortable in the box there as he goes to lean in. D'Ambrosio coming up and in with the fastball. D'Ambrosio's game came, where he was pretty much shelled, came against the Big Train on June the 7th. Breaking ball way out in front of that was Nixon, fooled, certainly looking for a fastball there, and he has to take himself a little walk to recompose himself.
He certainly looking to hit that ball to the water tower, and he seems to be thinking he can get it there every single time. The confidence he swings in that very, very deep angle that he.
And a big swing and a foul ball right here. He's down the count of ball and 2 strikes. So now's the time you want to shorten up. Try and just get that base hit. It's a 1-2. Hard ground ball up the middle. There is the shortstop, Aponte, and he throws on to first to record the out. Sorry, I blanked on the shortstop's name there for a second, but Nixon retired on the ground ball to short. So not a bad job there by Nixon, you know, kind of shortening up his swing there and maybe not going for the fences so much. Got the ground ball back up the middle. Unfortunately, Aponte able to make the play. Nixon not the fastest runner on the team. He had enough time to throw him out. As Paul DePino standing in takes a breaking ball that catches the inside corner. DePino 1 for 3. Struck out, reached on an error, and single. As he awaits the delivery. And he's late on the fastball. And down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
Again, another big pitch here for DePino to continue this rally, get this rally going.
D'Ambrosio from Lynchburg College, native of Fairfax Station, Virginia. Appeared in 5 games at Lynchburg. Went 3 2/3 and allowed 6 earned runs. And he aspires to be a GM. And a little looping line drive over the shortstop Aponte and into left center field, and back-to-back singles for DePino. And that'll bring Nick Graham to the plate.
Another good contact hit by the Baltimore Dodgers. Again, another key one to keep this at-bat going. Can Nick Graham continue this streak? He already came up big earlier in the game with a RBI double.
Yeah, and in a similar situation, DePino definitely would score, because the reason he ended up getting thrown out at the plate on that double was because he thought the outfielder might have caught it, and he stopped in between second and third. The first delivery is in there to Graham, and we'll see if those extra swings will pay off for the Dodger catcher. And that delivery catching the inside corner, and Graham not happy with that call. As he a little head shake as he looks down to his third base coach, Derek Brown. He's down the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Big lead by DePino. They're not holding him on, but now looks like they will. It's just a 5-run lead now, so no, they won't. They'll go ahead and back off. And I'm sorry, it's a 6-run lead. The 0-2 breaking ball is going to miss. I kept saying it was a 6-run lead when it was 9-2 because I failed 5th grade math. I was just waiting for at least a snicker.
I remember my academic advisor telling me when I got to Shippensburg University that when I had to take one required math course that I was dreading, she said, "Don't worry, just get a C. Comm German majors aren't supposed to be good at math."
2-2 pitch and check swing foul ball. And the count will remain 2 balls and 2-2. Actually, math was one of my stronger subjects in high school, and I didn't take a lot of it in college, though I did at one point in my high school career think about becoming a math teacher. It's a 2-2, swung on and missed, and down goes Graham. We're going to head to the top of the 8th. The Dodgers needing to hold the River Dogs where they're at. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. Now we're here for the top of the 8th inning. Baltimore Dodgers trailing the Loudoun River Dogs by a score of 9-3 here at Joe Cannon Stadium. And these last couple of nights have been gut punches. You know, just
2 promising starts, only to be brought down by 2 big innings.
fastball is going to miss up. As Damon LaFond out for his second full inning. Again, I have to go back and check, but the strikeout in the last inning, I believe, goes to the previous pitcher just because he came in with 2 strikes. I could be wrong on that, but I know the rule with the hitter. If the batter came in with a 2-2 count and ends up getting a hit, or if he gets a hit, it's his. But if he ends up working a walk, it goes to him. But if it's a strikeout, it's the previous batter's strikeout. So the first 3 pitches to Aponte miss. So we're going to actually say that Bradley went a full 2 innings and gave up 2 earned runs on 4 hits. And there's a strike from LaFond as he was down the count 3 balls and no strikes, and he's able to come back a little bit. The 3-1, and that's going to miss well up and away. So not really giving the hitter anything to think about with those last couple those last couple pitches, just well out of the strike zone.
I mean, he brings a lot of heat to his fastballs, but again, location has been a continual problem for Damon LaFawn. He's going to have to find a way to work that out, even if that means sacrificing a couple miles per hour.
Fastball well up high, not even close to the strike zones. The Dodgers do have a pitcher warming in the bullpen. If you're just joining us, the Dodgers jumped out to a modest 2-1 lead. That's a breaking ball. Where did that miss? Must have been just off the inside corner. And I'm sorry, the Dodgers were trailing 2-1, ended up tying it at 2. And they had a chance to break things open in the bottom half of the 5th. But in the 6th inning, the top half, the River Dogs just poured it on. As the first 3 deliveries by LaFond missing, again, 3 balls and no strikes to count to Matthew Thomas. Thomas 1 for 4 today, singled in the 6th, stole a base, and came around to score on the 3-run home run by Clayton Bain. And the 3-0. And that's going to be a breaking ball in there, and Thomas ducking out of the way there.
I was going to say,
I was watching his body language, and I almost called it ball 4.
Well, I mean, he's ducking because he's seen how many batters have gotten hit previously, so he's preparing for impact.
If you're just joining us, 5 hit batters in the game, and that one almost getting him in back-to-back walks to start off the 8th inning for the River Dogs, and they've got runners at first and second and nobody out.
Quite honestly, if I'm Colin Berg, I'm saying to the batters each time they go up to the plate, I wouldn't dig in too much. I don't know where this ball's going.
Well, speaking of that, Jordan Ebersol, he's only recorded 1 official at bat. Was hit twice in the 1st and the 3rd innings, hit by a pitch by Jordan Menfee. Then he walked in the 5th and popped out to the 3rd baseman. The first delivery to him missing well off the inside corner.
He's going to be awfully black and blue tomorrow.
It is very possible. Those baseballs do not feel good. Dodgers with some throwing going on down in their bullpen. And there's a delivery that catches the strike zone. Now ball and a strike to Ebersol. It's Tony Bianchini warming up for the Dodgers. Left-hander. As LaFond will come set, and he'll come home with the 1-1. And that's a breaking ball. It's going to miss. Berg didn't handle and put the ball on the ground, but it didn't go very far. 2 balls and 1 strike to catch the count to Ebersol. Dodgers needing desperately to keep the score where it's at as they trail this one by 6 in the top of the 8th inning. And there's a baseball down behind home plate that Bianchini threw away when he was trying to pitch. So hopefully that's not a sign of things to come once he enters the ball game. And the inside move, very close. Umpire at second base eyeing him up for a balk. I don't know if he got his foot all the way back behind the pitching rubber.
I'm not sure if he did. He might have gotten lucky there.
As LaFond delivering the 2-1. And that's fouled off into the screen. We actually could feel the whole booth shake when that ball hit the netting. Infield for the Dodgers, double play depth, nobody away here in the top of the 8th inning. 2-2 the count. Score is 9-3, favor of the visiting River Dogs. And LaFond comes home. And that's going to miss outside.
Again, location. It seems to be a problem with Damon LaFond. Again, struggling to correct that.
You've seen LaFond go more to the breaking ball in this inning. He seems to have a little bit better control of it than the fastball. The 3-2. There's the fastball and a swing and a miss. Well, a foul tip into the glove. So LaFond coming back with that fastball and finding the strike zone. And Ebersol down on strikes, the first out of the inning, and a very big one at that.
Again, possibly hanging with that breaking ball if you do it so much. Again, just like the last at bat, you catch them off guard with that fastball coming in for the third strike.
Colin Watt's going to stand in. There's a fastball just missing. That must have been just a little bit high. Watt in today's game has a hit, a walk, and he's been out 2 times. So 1 for 3, been on base twice. The 1-0. Fastball inside. 2 balls and no strikes. LaFond working from the stretch, looking in for his sign. We're going to get time called at the plate. Is taking a little bit too much time. I don't know if, okay, he does. For a second, he came all the way set. I thought maybe he didn't hear time called.
I mean, he was holding there for a while.
The 2-0. There's a breaking ball, missing just a little bit low, and 3 balls and no strikes to count again. This time on Colin Watt. LaFond set, checks the runner at second base once, twice, and he'll come home. And that's going to miss. That's going to get all the way to the backstop, but it's not really going to mean much of anything as all runners advance on the walk. The 3rd walk of the inning by LaFond. And looking over in the Dodger dugout, seeing if there's any movement. As Derek Brown kind of on his balls of his feet, looking ready to start going out there to get his pitcher. But he's not going anywhere. He's going to give him at least one more batter. As Clayton Bain stands in, and Bain, well, he provided the big hit in the ball game. The 3-run homer back in the 6th.
That's right. He absolutely got a hold of that ball, send that thing way out there to left field.
Fastball is going to miss up and away.
Ball, quite honestly, was a couple feet short of making it to the fence of the water tower.
As coming set and coming home with a breaking ball, that catching the inside corner. See, now that makes me question where some of the other ones were, because that looked very similar to a couple other pitches that we saw.
Well, it could possibly be that since they're leaning back, they could be distorting the inside part of the strike zone for the umpire.
Oh, 1-1 the count. Bases loaded, 1 away here in the top of the 8th inning, and LaFond is going to step back, taking a minute to get on the same page as his catcher. LaFond set and comes home. That's a fastball that's going to miss outside. LaFond making his 2nd appearance for the Dodgers. Back in the game against the DC Grays, he went 2 innings, allowed 3 unearned runs, walked 4, struck out 1. Breaking ball missing just low. Good pitch there by LaFond, but again, that curveball has been the best he's been able to locate. The fastball is kind of all over the place right now. So you have to wonder if he's going to go back to it here 3-1. And that's a fastball. And he finds the strike zone there, so a good job coming into the strike zone for LaFond. And the count now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the delivery. Fastball inside corner, and he's got the strikeout looking. That's a 2nd strikeout of the inning. And a big one with the bases loaded. And now 2 away as Colin Casey comes to the plate.
And Brown's going to come out and
he's going to come get his pitcher right now as he was able to fight back, get a strikeout, 2 strikeouts in the inning. And it looks like Bianchini is warm and ready to come in. So Derek Brown gets the baseball from his hard-throwing righty, and that's going to end his night with 3 runners that are his responsibility. Tony Bianchini coming to coming to the mound. We'll talk about him when we come back. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. And welcome back to the top of the 8th inning as Tony Bianchini coming in. Damon LaFond going 2/3 of an inning. He's got 3 runners that are his responsibility as Bianchini facing off against the lefty Colin Casey. Casey with the chopper towards first. Right there is Nixon. Nixon's going to take it to the bag himself to record the out, and the Dodgers get out of trouble as they load the base, as the River Dogs load the bases with 1 out. But the combination of LaFond and Bianchini work out of it, and we're going to head to the bottom of the 8th. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. All right, we're back for the bottom half of the 8th inning where the Baltimore Dodgers are trailing the Loudoun River Dogs by a score of 9-3. That's a 6-run deficit they've got to try and make up here in these last 2 innings. As Daryl Torres is going to start things off for the Dodgers, and he takes the first delivery down low for ball 1.
Is it a big lead? Yes. Is it insurmountable by any means? No.
Swing and a miss by Torres. 1-1 the count. Now, Damon LaFond finishes his night of work with, based on my count, 2/3 of an inning, because I believe the strikeout goes to Keaton Bradley that ended the 7th. So 2/3 of an inning, no hits, no runs, walked 3, struck out 2. The breaking ball was in there to Torres. And now he fouls one off. He's down the count of ball and 2 strikes. So, honestly, LaFond this year has yet to give up an earned run despite all the walks. So he's able to find his way to work out of it as the 1-2 is going to miss outside and a good take there by Torres. So, the wildness hasn't caught up to him, so hopefully he'll get it under control before it starts to. As the 2-2 pitch, line drive right at the second baseman, and Lloyd makes the catch for out number 1. Torres getting all of that, and they were shading him a little bit to pull.
Now we get into the fast part of the lineup, starting with Taj Porter. If Porter gets on first, I'd be thinking about stealing.
It's a 6-run lead. That's probably not a good idea. Ball hit deep to right, and that ball is gone. Taj Porter changes the number as the Dodgers get back on the board with a home run to right off the bat of Taj Porter.
Now that was an absolute moonshot. There seemed to be no doubt in that as soon as he made contact with that ball, as that was that thing just had the perfect launch angle. Was able to get over that right field fence with ease.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. That nice line drive hit by Torres wasn't a single, as he's not on base, because now we'd be talking about just a 4-run game instead of a 5-run game. But as it is, Taj Porter getting a good piece, hitting it out to right.
And you know what? At this point, we'll take it.
And absolutely we will. Any runs that we can get, as the first delivery to Torres was a strike, and the next delivery missing outside, it's even in the count, a ball and a strike. So breaking ball missing the outside corner. Actually, as you were mentioning, talking about stealing at a 6-run lead, it's all about base runners. So the last thing you want is having a guy caught stealing. So you really need to just let the bats kind of do the work, because that foul ball is going to get out of play. Two balls and 2 strikes to count on the Dodgers center fielder. And he chops one foul over towards the the River Dogs dugout. And nice attempt at a play over there, but I think it
Manager for the River Dogs showing a bit of athleticism.
Yeah, I think it cost him a little bit too much there as he was leaning up the fence afterwards. I think that energy, that fuel tank is spent. A good job fighting off a pitch there by Doyle as he fouls one out of play.
That better not be my car.
All right, now Doyle charged with the responsibility of starting things off again for the Dodgers. Top of the order is where you want to be. D. Shelton in the on-deck circle. 2-2. And again, lashing it foul and getting it out of play.
Again, keep on working that pitcher. Eventually, he's going to throw it into a spot that you're comfortable with, that you can take it to opposite field.
The 2-2. That's going to miss outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count on the Dodger leadoff hitter. Doyle today with a pair of hits, also walked in the 6th and reached on an error in the 3rd, so he's been on base 4 times. 3-2. Hits it hard down the right field line, but foul in the corner. And it looks like, well, no, I think he's just going to get the baseball. I was going to say maybe the River Dogs looking to start
thinking about their options in the bullpen.
Yeah, because these Dodgers hitters, all 3 of them so far have gotten a good piece. The 3-2 breaking ball is going to miss outside. The Dodgers have another base runner as D. Shelton coming to the plate.
Batting now, the shortstop from Hillsborough Junior College, number 1, D. Shelton.
But again, I'm thinking if Doyle could straighten out that last foul ball. That could have easily been a double.
Oh, absolutely. As the first pitch to Shelton is going to miss down low. So this is that part of the game where you want to see if your offense can bail your defense and your pitching out as you trail by 5. Breaking ball missing the outside corner.
The flies are now starting to come into the booth.
They're attacking. The 2-0 is going to miss outside, so one pitch away from getting a couple of runners on base. And Jake Ruby in the on-deck circle. Ruby tripled his last time. The 3-0 pitch. Down low, and that's going to miss. So back-to-back walks for D'Ambrosio. And Jake Ruby coming to the plate. He's going to get everybody amped up.
They're getting better with the beat.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Everybody's like getting down to it. I'll tell you what. I don't know if my mom's listening, but I'm gonna call her out on it. We used to all the time go to a bar to watch football games, and there's a song that they play whenever they do something good. And like everybody would try and clap rhythmically, and I would have to like grab her hands and start trying to bang them together to get her to get the rhythm right. As you know, some people just don't have that. I've worked with Tom Davis before. He works in the Baltimore area. You know, kind of a legendary sportscaster in this area. As the first delivery to Ruby is going to miss down low, but he's kind of tone deaf. Like, he loves music, absolutely loves it, but he can't sing because he can't get the pitches right. So it's kind of funny to listen to him sing in the microphone when we got music playing. The 1-0 is just going to catch that outside corner, maybe a little bit outside corner extended.
I mean, you might find that funny, but for me, being around music for most of my life, that would be a little bit painful to listen to.
Well, I have friends like that as well. I went to Towson University. I was in the marching band, and because of the 1-1 pitch, catching the outside corner, and again, I think maybe getting a little bit generous as the home plate umpire with that outside corner. But I was in the marching band, and so most of my friends in college were music majors, so I know a lot of music teachers that probably would drive them crazy. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball swung on and missed, and Ruby, I think, getting a little short change there, but a couple fastballs that maybe a little bit wide of the outside corner, but he does go down swinging, and that's 2 outs here in the 8th. Second strikeout of the game for D'Ambrosio.
Again, you don't want to allow these 2 base runners on. You want to try to bring them around. 2 innings alone, they left 6 batters on the base paths.
Yeah, and add to that one in the last inning as well. They've allowed 10 base runners. They've left 10 base runners on so far. And the first pitch to Berg, a little fister to the shortstop. And he's going to get it and make the easy flip to the second baseman, Lloyd. And that's going to do it for the Dodgers. They get 1 on the home run by Taj Porter. And we're going to head to the 9th. The Dodgers still trailing by 5. This is Baltimore Dodgers baseball. All right, it's time for the Dodgers to hold and hit. Hold and hit. That's what we're going for. As Connor Bain is going to lead things off for the Loudon River Dogs here in the 9th inning. I didn't write down what happened to Colin Casey. First delivery going to miss down low. Bain 0 for 3 was hit by a pitch, came around to score in the 6th. The 1-0, and that's going to miss down low. What did that hit?
I think that hit the shin pad of Colin Berg.
Is that well-placed bunt? if that was what was going on. So now 2 balls and no strikes to count on Connor Bain. I said no, okay, I was right. Connor Bain, I said Colin Casey, which is correct. As Bianchini steps off, he was going to come set, then decided to step off and asked for new signs from his catcher. The 2-0, and that's going to miss down and in. Bianchini came in to record the last out of the 8th inning after LaFond had recorded the first 2 but loaded the bases. The 3-0. That's a fastball at the knees down the middle for strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. Pretty much straight away for the Dodgers defensively in the 3-1 pitch. That's in the dirt and a leadoff walk here in the 9th. Not what you want to see when you're trying to come back from a 5-run deficit.
Batting now, the center fielder from Alabama Southern Junior College, number 7, Jamarian Crane.
Again, how many times have we seen the Dodgers walk River Dog batters on either hits, hitting them at the plate, or by just straight up walks? Because I think we're at least, 6 on the hit batters.
I've got 5 hit batters and 5 walks. So that's a lot of free passes in a ball game. The first delivery to Jamarian Crane was a strike, but the second delivery down and in. Let's take another quick look around the Cal Ripken League. The Aces ahead of the T-Bolts in the top of the 9th, 11-7. The Braves over the Giants in the top of the 8th, 4-3. It's a swing and a miss here by Crane. The Redbirds just about to close out the Express as they're in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Redbirds holding a 5-1 lead there. And a final down in Bethesda. The Big Train 2 and the Grays 1. The 1-2. Hit hard through the hole on the left side, and that's going to get down for a base hit. And the first 2 runners of the 9th on base for the Loudon River Dogs.
Second baseman, East Carolina University, number 18, Brady Lloyd.
As top of the order coming back around for the River Dogs, Brady Lloyd will stand in. Lloyd scored a pair of runs. A couple singles, but that was way back in the 1st and 2nd inning. Flew out, hit by a pitch, and has struck out. And he's going to foul one off here. 4 balls and 1 strike to count. If you're just joining us, the River Dogs scored 1 in the 1st. The Dodgers came back to tie it in the bottom half. The River Dogs then took the 2-1 lead in the top half of the 2nd inning. And the Dodgers eventually would tie it in the 4th. Breaking ball just missing, hitting the batter there as Lloyd turning out of the way. And then came the top of the 6th inning. Score tied at 2. The River Dogs put 7 on the board thanks largely to a 3-run home run by Clayton Bain. And that would cap the River Dogs scoring. The Dodgers chipping away in the bottom of the next 2 innings with 1 apiece, and that's where we stand at 9-4. It's a 1-1 pitch fouled away. And the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Tonight's been an interesting hitting display for both teams as both are combining for 19 hits.
And a ground ball to third. DePino makes the tag, and he'll throw to first in the dirt. And a scoop there by the first baseman, Paul Nixon, and that's going to do it. And what do we got here? And we've got an argument.
I was going to say, it looked like Nixon bobbled that ball as he was
No,
trying.
I don't think that's what he's arguing about. He's arguing about, I think, at the out at third base. I don't know if he thinks that if the River Dogs coach is saying that the ball was in the bare hand, not the glove. I think that is what he is saying, that the ball was not in the glove. But I think the out is going to stand. So it's going to be a 5-3 double play as Connor Bain is out on the tag on the 5 unassisted. And then Brady Lloyd is out on the 5-3. And now 2 away with the runner Jamarian Crane out at second base. And Alejandro Aponte standing in and taking the first delivery up high for a ball.
I did think that Paul Nixon, though, did, at least from what I saw, it kind of looked like he was juggling that ball as he was trying to scoop that up for the double play.
He, so it looked like he cradled it with his body. I don't know that he necessarily bobbled it. It didn't look like it was maybe in the glove, but he definitely had control of it. It just maybe looked a little weird because he let it come in kind of to his body where he cradled it, and it makes it look like a bobble. The breaking ball is fouled off. A good play over there by somebody.
Someone,
One of the Dodgers bullpen players. I believe it was. Nope, it's definitely not 33. I was trying to read the number, but couldn't see it. 1-2 the count. And well, I'm not really sure what that was because kind of the arm action made it look like it was a breaking ball, but it missed so far outside you couldn't really tell if it had any sort of movement on it at all. So the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Aponte. And the delivery. There's the breaking ball. That catches the outside corner, and Aponte down on strikes. The big 5-3 double play there in that inning after the River Dogs get 2 runners on. The Dodgers need 5 if they want to keep playing. And 6 if they want to walk it off. We're going to see if they can do it when we come back. This is the Baltimore Dodgers baseball. Welcome back for the bottom of the 9th inning. The Baltimore Dodgers, well, they need 5. And we're going to start things off with Paul Nixon. Nixon doubled his way back in the 2nd inning. Then he popped out to third, grounded into a fielder's choice, and grounded out to short. So we'll see what he can do about leading things off here for the Dodgers in this 9th inning. It's the first delivery to him by D'Ambrosio is a breaking ball, and he takes it in there for a strike.
Again, I'm thinking about hitting for contact here. I'm not thinking about trying to swing for the fences like Taj Porter did.
Well, he goes down around his shoelaces and fouls one off there. There's really no way to hit that ball fair that he just swung at. Is that pitch down around the shoelaces off the inside corner, and he pulls that well foul.
I don't know about that being a fair ball, but that would have been a decent golf swing as we're dealing with a moth.
That might be Mothra, to be honest, as big as that thing is.
I was going to say, this is one aggressive moth.
Well, 1 ball, 2 strikes to count on Nixon. And again, another pitch well off the plate inside, and he pulls it over into the Dodger dugout. Everybody in the Dodger team pretty much huddled over there by the fences. And you don't really see that as a right-hand hitter being able to pull it that far over to the left. The 1-2. And he hits one deep out to center. Going back is the center fielder, and it's off the top of the fence, and it's gone! Paul Nixon hits it over the 380 sign. It's even further. It's probably close to 390 off the top of the fence. And it goes out to the Dodgers with another home run as Paul Nixon goes deep out to left center field.
Okay.
Another wall scraper, quite literally this time.
Okay. I think now we can say that Paul Nixon can adopt the nickname Paul Bunyan now. That was quite a swing there for Paul Bunyan. I thought that was clearly – I didn't know that hit the top of the fence. I thought that hit the grass mound right behind the fence, but –
No, yeah, definitely right off the top of the fence. Nixon was running hard. He didn't realize it was a home run. I don't think until maybe the music started playing. He was sprinting, and then as soon as he hears the horn from the home run, he's like, "Oh, I can start trotting? That's fantastic." So Nixon getting that home run, the second of the season for him, and Paul DePino now at the plate, and so now of all the talk we've talked about him, going for the home run every time, he said, "There, take that." How about that?
He's probably hearing me up in the press box saying, "Don't hit for a home run."
It was the count now, 3 balls and no strikes to DePino, and a strike called there.
I don't know about that.
Wow, DePino was on his way to first base, and I was getting ready to write it down in my book where that pitch was, but it was called a strike. And that one shouldn't be, and it's not.
And that was the same location, though, as the previous pitch, though.
Yeah, it was very similar pitches. So, we get the runner on base anyway, as now Nick Graham will come to the plate.
It's funny now. First 3 home games, we've had no home runs. Now in this game alone, we've had 3 home runs.
Yeah. Almost gave the Dodgers 23 runs on our little scoreboard there. Actually, if anybody was paying attention, that's what they just saw. Breaking ball just missing. Just missing the shirt sleeve of Nick Graham, but we've seen Nick Graham doesn't care about getting hit, but we've also seen the umpires not want to give him first base when he does get hit. And that's going to miss up high, and the throw down to first base.
It could have been dangerous there as it skipped towards the first baseman.
Yeah, that wasn't – I don't think that's the best throw necessarily, just because, you want to get outs. You don't want to give away runs at this point. I mean, it's still 4 runs, but – you throw that ball down the right field line, you're talking about a runner at third base. And a hard foul ball over towards Coach Derek Brown.
Dodgers very much alive in this thing, even though they're down 4.
Yeah, nobody out, a runner on first. The River Dogs with a pitcher warming in their bullpen. The 2-1. That's a breaking ball. I think that almost got the arm of Graham as well. He almost looked like he wanted to reach out and hit it with his arm, but
that actually kind of looked like it was almost like at head level, to be quite honest with you, at least from where I'm standing.
The 3-1, and Graham turns on one, hits it deep, but into the parking lot. I don't think that has any. That might you have to worry about it if you parked like back in the last row. There is as hard as he hit that back there.
I mean, it sounded good going off the bat, and I thought, oh, here we go, another home run.
No, 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. And the delivery. And a little fister out in the left. Coming in is Ebersol. He makes the catch for out number 1. Sergio Torres is going to stand in. He hasn't gotten a hit yet, but he has hit a hard line drive. That came in the last inning, and that was caught by the second baseman. And a breaking ball is going to catch the inside corner for Torres. Torres 0 for 4, like I said, but that hard line drive preceding the Taj Porter home run.
And feel very much playing for that double play.
And a breaking ball in the dirt, and going to second base is Paul DePino. And 1-1 the count now on Daryl Torres. I'd feel a little bit better about DePino getting to second base if this were like the 6th or 7th inning, but it being the 9th and knowing his run doesn't really mean a whole lot, it doesn't feel quite as good because we still need to get some base runners as the tying run is still in the hole. And not a good swing there by Torres as he was fooled and well out in front of a breaking ball that looked to be probably a little bit low as he fouls it off here. D'Ambrosio sets in the 1-2 and turns on one and hits it down the left field line, and it's a fair ball. That's going to score a run from second base as Torres heading into second. He's going to stand up right there. And the one up for the Dodgers. Now it's 9-6, and that tying run is in the on-deck circle now.
This team is one. I tell you what, for as inconsistently as they play, they don't give up, and that's the thing you like to see out of. That's the thing you like to see out of teams, that they just, doesn't matter what the score is, doesn't matter how far up or down you are in the game, that you just play until the final out. And this Dodgers team is a very scrappy group, as we get another pitcher running in for the River Dogs.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for Philip D'Ambrosio. As we're going to step away here as he throws up his warm-up pitches. And we'll be back. This is Baltimore Dodgers Baseball. New pitcher into the game for the River Dogs is Mikhail Page from, well, what it says is Alabama Southern, but doing research, which is what good broadcasters do. I'm going to pat myself on the back for my research. It is actually called Coastal Carolina. It's the first delivery to Taj Porter's on the outside corner.
Coastal Alabama?
Yeah, that one too. Coastal Alabama North is where he plays. And he also has a teammate that plays there as well. As the 0-1 is fouled back out of play. They play at the North Campus. Jamarian Crane is his teammate at Coastal Alabama North. The Eagles. The 0-2 pitch is a breaking ball, missing the outside corner. Good take there by Taj Porter. Now, at Coastal Alabama, Page appeared in 6 games on the mound, went 8 1/3 innings, and an ERA of 6.48. The 1-2 is going to miss up and away. Certainly a fireballer out there. 17 strikeouts and just 10 walks. But again, that's in 8 innings pitched. So, no, excuse me, 11 strikeouts and 2 walks in 8 innings pitched. I was looking at his batting stats. He appeared in 44 games, hit 26 out of 99, 3 home runs, 10 walks, 17 at bats, or 17 strikeouts. So a pretty good hitter as well. The 2-2 fastball catching the outside corner, extended, and 2 down as Porter goes down looking.
And now we're at do or die time for Doyle.
Yeah, the Dodgers, 2 runs so far in the inning, but the tying run still in that on-deck circle, and Doyle it's his responsibility to get that batter to the plate. As Page comes home, and that pitch going to miss outside.
Plate discipline is the name of the game at this point of the game.
And Page came out of high school expecting to be a shortstop. Obviously listed as a pitcher here, but we did say earlier he is a very accomplished hitter. As Doyle swinging a pitch, maybe in off the plate, fouls it off. Ball and a strike. Page had his fastball clocked in 2016. It was in the upper 80s. So certainly can bring the gas here, especially for pitchers in the Cal Ripken League. Was ranked the number 83 right-handed pitcher in the class of 2017 in Georgia. Originally from Columbus, Georgia area. The 1-1 is swung on and foul tipped into the glove, and the Dodgers now down to their final strike. 21 hits combined in the ball game, a 9-6 score. The River Dogs holding that 3-run lead as we await the delivery from Page. He'll come set, check the runner, and he'll come home. Foul ball, staying alive. That was Trevor Doyle. D. Shelton on deck. Shelton will walk his last time, and a pair of strikeouts and a couple of ground balls to second. But one more pitch to get there. The 1-2 is a breaking ball that misses outside, and I lied. There's even more pitches to get there. We mentioned many a times Doyle has never played an inning of college baseball, with the exception of the Cal Ripken League games. So it's a big spot for a young kid. And he comes through with a base hit into right. Rounding third base, but holding right there, and smartly so, is Torres. As the Dodgers now have runners at the corners and D. Shelton coming to the plate.
Again, that tying run, the ever so important tying run, needs to get on base right here.
Yeah, Shelton representing that tying run. Takes a fastball that's going to miss outside. He walked his last time and was retired at second base for the final out of the inning as Colin Berg hit into a fielder's choice. As Page will come set, and he'll deliver a fastball that'll catch the outside corner. Some throwing going on in the Riverdog bullpen, so perhaps if Page can't get Shelton out, we may see another pitcher coming into the game. Shelton fouls one off over towards the parking lot. Page comes set and delivers the 1-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Shelton down on strikes. And that's going to do it for the Dodgers in today's game. A 7-run 6th inning. And the Dodgers they can't come back from it. They score 4 runs in the final 3 innings, but it's not enough as they allow 7 runs in the 6th.
Again, it was that ever important 3-run home run by Clayton Bain that was the difference in this game for the River Dogs. And again, their bats were on fire, as were the Dodgers, but again, the River Dogs took advantage of the opportunities they were presented with, including multiple hit batters that in key situations that would help contribute to those 9 runs in the game.
Yeah, as you said, just the big hit and just walks and hit batters and stuff. Just a lot of mistakes, a lot of different places where you can point to this game and say, hey, look, the Dodgers could have won this or could have come a little bit closer in this ball game. They certainly battled hard, came back, a couple home runs in the 8th and 9th inning, the first 2 we've seen this year at Joe Cannon Stadium. Unfortunately, they just don't come out on top. For the first time this season, the Dodgers have a losing streak. They've lost 2 in a row. They now fall to 2-4 on the season. The River Dogs improved to 1-4. Both teams will probably remain in the basement in their respective divisions. But, long season to go. 40 games. We were only through 6, so we got a long way to go. But the Dodgers have a really kind of tough road ahead. Doubleheader tomorrow, doubleheader Sunday, and then the Redbirds coming back Monday. We'll have that game for you when the Dodgers take on the Redbirds here at Joe Cannon Stadium. It'll be the last time we'll see the Redbirds here at home. So when we see you again Monday, hopefully we'll have 4 more wins, and we'll be sitting at 6-4, and we'll be all happy, and then we can maybe beat the Redbirds one more time. That would be fantastic. But that is going to do it for us here at Joe Cannon Stadium. Alongside me was Matthew Kleindienst. And the final time here from Joe Cannon Stadium, it's the River Dogs 9, the Baltimore Dodgers 6. We want to thank you for listening to Baltimore Dodgers Baseball.